Hey guys, so we are here for one of the most important days of the year, second only to Michael Bland's birthday. We have my birthday. So see if for those, let's see if we got anybody joining us yet. Okay, we got a few people. So the first birthday gift I want everybody to give me is I want you to share the video so we can have as many people in here celebrating with as possible. Real quick, I'm going to tag Michael so that he can share the video, and we'll start our normal process.
I think I got it, man.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to just interrupt you like that.
No, you're all.
I think I got it.
So.
Let me check. Yeah, I managed to get it on this page, like my main page, and now I'll share it to my other page.
Okay.
No. Did I just share it twice to the same?
I've done that, so don't feel bad if you have. I have literally done that.
All right.
So.
Hey,
I see Stephanie. I see Brandy. I see Heather. I see Kevin. Should let me actually. I'll share it to the Soul Asylum group since they seem to support us. How do I do that? My page. I think more options.
I can do it right here if you want me to.
Either way. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and do it?
Start. Okay.
Janet's here, Michael's here, Talitha's here, Melody's here. Oh man, people are coming in. So for those who are new to the show, thank you, Junior. I just saw the happy birthday wishes. For those who are new to the show, what we normally do is we normally go live a few minutes before 7 so that people can get here, people can share the video, and then we actually start a little bit after 7. There I see Lori Oler, who was my high school history teacher, Mrs. Weselick. Her name is different now. Or maybe it was Miss. Who else? We got Reggie Strong. Yeah, people are coming in. So again, the first birthday gift I want everybody to get me. Where's my birthday tiara? I was the birthday princess. Oh well, I lost it. I still got it's up there. I still got that. The first Todd's here. The first birthday gift I want everybody to get me is to share the video. Oh, the cat says happy birthday. Hey, Janetti.
What's the cat saying? The cat's saying something.
Cat's saying happy birthday. So that's
what's all that extra noise?
Tiffany will be mad that she wasn't here for that. So we'll start the discussion in a little bit. I don't know where we're going to go today. I don't know if we're going to keep it light or if we're going to get heavy. I mean, I'm all for having a heavy discussion wearing silly hats or, I just kind of tend to follow my fearless leader, Michael Bland.
Oh, yeah, great. Blame it all on me.
So that cat is really talking.
This is normal.
Oh, so he normally talks and then just shuts up during our show?
No. Usually what happens is what's going to happen in a hot minute if she doesn't quiet down, which is Kim takes her out of the room.
Oh, I don't mind the cat. Is it a girl cat? I thought it was a guy cat for some reason.
It's a girl cat with a guy's name. We're gender fluid over here.
Gotcha. What's the cat's name again?
Arnie.
I don't
short
think you
for Arnold. Somehow short. It's the same amount of syllables. I don't understand women.
Oh, you're blaming that on the wife or the daughter, or who gets the blame for
that? Yeah, they're the ones that named the cat. I'm like, so okay, you're gonna give a female cat a guy name. Not only that, change the name to Arnie, which is the same amount of syllables. What for? I have no idea. Just cuteness alone.
Sometimes that's the determining factor.
Because it's not like you're saving on anything. It takes the same amount of kinetic energy.
Letters, ARNOLD. It's one letter less.
At all.
So I guess if you have to write the cat's name a lot, you've
no
something.
It's devolved in.
Did we lose Michael already? So I don't know where.
You can't hear me?
You disappeared for a minute.
I don't see any. Yeah, I guess I'm frozen.
No, you're back. You're back. I see you.
All right.
So,
I'm sorry. I'm still trying to figure out how to get this thing shared to my other page.
But... Oh, okay. Go ahead. It's not our official start time yet anyway, so feel free to share it. I tagged you again if you want to share it that way. So again, for the people that are joining us, hey Val, hey Josh, hey Campbell, Greg, I see everybody. I think I already shouted out Janetti. Again, the first birthday gift that everybody can get me is to share the video. We'll get as many people here as we can, and really, you know, I mean, for those who aren't regular viewers of the show or maybe are not familiar with the historic body of work that my co-host Michael Bland has, and we'll introduce him in a minute. It is a great birthday gift alone just to see him in a party hat. This is you know, this is something that needs to go viral. So
why do people delight so much in others' humiliation? I don't.
Well, first of all, why are you humiliated?
I'm 51 years old, dude.
See, I don't see it as humiliating at all. I see it as finding the joy and finding I love finding the goofy thing in something serious, because then even on a bad day or when things aren't going well, is how I manage to still have joy.
Yeah, okay.
He's got hey Kim, hey Angelo, hey Byron, hey JJ.
Riley just keeps.
So
he hails from Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, we're starting. Okay, let's take the.
I thought you just introduced me a second ago, didn't you?
Oh no, I was talking ahead of time, but we can go. We can go. Let me figure out how to take the comment down, and we can start.
I got 703. What you got?
I got 703. We can go.
All right. Me first?
Go right.
Birthday boy. What is it, 36?
36.
Man. I can't even remember 36.
It's funny because I am old to the young musicians and young to the old musicians.
You're where I've been my whole life. Exactly. I was never going to catch up with Sonny and Prince and them. You know, no matter what, I was always going to be the young dude until I became the older dude.
It was so weird the first time somebody called me an OG, and I'm like, wait a second, my career is just starting. How am I an OG? But I had to think about it and think about where like I was in my 20s versus. So anyhow, we'll start the show. Welcome to MUSiPOLiTiX. This show. We'll talk about it some more, but this is one of the highlights of my 2020, which has been a pretty abysmal year for both of us, but some good things have come out of it, and this is one of the best because I get to work with one of my favorite people in the world, both favorite people to work with as well as just one of my favorite people, and one of the greatest musicians that I know, one of the greatest minds that I know, and one of the greatest people that I know. I've been an admirer of him since I first heard his playing, before I knew about his resume and before I knew about everything else he has to offer. So I'm just privileged to be able to do this and be able to celebrate my birthday with Michael Bland.
And to my next to me is a young man that we could have lost this year, y'all, but we didn't. God is great. And Dan Spiffy Neuman is still here, still knocking the dust off that organ.
That's true.
Still not scared of black folks.
That's also true.
Kicked COVID's butt. We call you half dead Neuman from now on.
Well, I hope it's not true from now on.
Well, if you're half dead, we don't expect you to go all the way. You wouldn't came back. You're a zombie now. You undead, okay? Not half dead, undead.
That is, I'll be a zombie if that's what it's gonna be. Hey, Sarah.
Be undead. Glory. Yes.
Hey,
So
Tiggy.
Brand. Didn't he? Didn't he do it? Won't he do it? Won't he will?
I mean, if we want to talk about it, I mean, so we've had doctors on the show, and we've had scientists on this show, and I don't take lightly all the things that went into my recovery, but I know that there was an element of it that it was a miracle, and there's an element of it that was God. And if I hadn't, and I don't pretend to know enough about the way that the God works in order to know would the outcome have been different if so many people hadn't prayed for me. I don't know, but I will tell you, I mean, you probably saw some of the posts that my wife put up that went kind of viral when I was in the hospital. I had a lot of people praying for me, and my church really supported me. And I know there's definitely it's definitely a miracle that I'm still here, because they were telling me to say my goodbyes. So
I didn't know that. What they were telling you to just in case you better say goodbye.
Yeah, they were saying just say your goodbyes just in case, because and by that point in time I had so little energy. I was so out of it that I'm not even sure what I heard and what I said, but I was talking to my wife pretty much every day, and I know I put a post on Facebook along the lines of, I remember putting a post on Facebook, which by the way took me like 4 hours to do, because I had so little energy and I had so little coordination trying to do it with my phone in the hospital. I think I probably even had one of the nurses helping me or something, but I put up a post that said something like, if you have nice things to say about me, say them now while you still have the chance, or something like that. I can't remember. Don't wait for my funeral.
Spiffy Neuman.
I wasn't happy about it either.
Huh?
You didn't see that post?
No. I seen that post. I wouldn't have just let that sit there like that. I'm not going to accept it. The devil is a liar.
Well, I mean, one of the things that's true, and I don't really remember a whole lot. I don't remember how did I talk to you while I was in the hospital before I was in a coma, or just after?
Just after, I think.
Because I know that you were, and I've said this on the show before, and I've told you many times, and I'm sure I've said it on Facebook, you were one of the people that really helped me pull through after I woke up. You and your wife, stayed there talking to me for hours and just really encouraged me, and that was really a huge thing for me. Obviously, my wife as well. Tiffany, who I think is going to stop by at some point tonight, was one of the people as well. But you and your wife really helped me stay encouraged, because at that point I had the coherence to fight, but I couldn't physically do it. Whereas before I was just so low on oxygen, I don't know what I was thinking.
I understand. That's love, Dan Spiffy Neuman. That's what it is. If you love somebody, then you're supposed to be there when they need you. It's as simple as that. And unfortunately, you and I both know a lot of people, who are not necessarily the ones to rely on. But
I think
from whatever point that was that we decided we were going to be friends, there were no more boundaries between us.
Well, I've talked, I think on the show, you and I have talked about it at great length, is then, because again, you're somebody that I have looked up to as a musician for years. And then when I got to know you, I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty cool that one of the people that I look up to as a musician is also the type of person that I would want to connect with. Because a lot of times the people that you like their musical offering, and you have to separate that from the person. It's not even that they're a bad person, that they're doing bad things. It's not getting into the whole conversation we had with Pern about R. Kelly and all that, but just, they're not the type of person you connect with, even though you connect with their music. But I really appreciated that once I got to know you, you were somebody that I connected with as a person. But the moment when I found out that you were a real friend was when I was in that car accident a few years ago. And you showed the concern of like somebody that I was really connected with, and I didn't realize that I was. You were like it was clear that you were very worried and if something had actually happened to me in the car accident, it would have affected you. And I didn't realize that. And that's why you got your first cheesecake. Because Nia was the one that saw that. She even said, Michael's a for real friend. She said, and I said, really? Where do you see? She said, look what he put on your post. Look what he said to you. And I was like, you're right. Michael is a for real friend. And that's when she made you a cheesecake.
Uh-huh. I didn't know what it was I did that earned me that cheesecake. But
it wasn't any one particular thing, or it was just that she could see from your words that you were a real friend.
Well, I try not to be phony or full of crap. And I think we were talking about like epitaphs and tombstones one day at Soul Asylum rehearsal. And Perner asked me, he said, what do you want you like what your tombstone to say? I just wanted to say that I was never, full of, like that I was, I was just real with people, So
I've said this on the show before, Jesse, that I have lots of people say don't meet your heroes, but I've said this before and I'll say it again to the drummers or anyone else in music or anything else that considers Michael Bland your hero. He's one of the few heroes that you can meet, and he doesn't disappoint unless you're expecting him to be, what did I say? Non-opinionated, bad at drums, or skinny, I think is my list.
That's exactly what you said.
Don't
expect any of those things.
But I'm seeing a lot of my great friends here in the comments. Cimarron Dawson. I'm just going to throw a few of these comments up here while we're kind of getting started. Yeah. Cimarron Dawson is somebody that you're going to have to connect with as well. I
realized that he's been on my radar, man. I've just noticed him here and there, and I don't want to crowd the brother. I just
well, he was best man in my wedding. So
y'all were that tight. Okay, well, I'll crowd him.
Absolutely. Him. I didn't officially have a wedding party because we had a very small wedding. But Todd was in it, and Cimarron was in it, and that was pretty much it. Other than like blood family, like my wife's twin brother and stuff like that. Let's see. Who else is here? Speaking of family, my father-in-law, who has been a great supporter of our show so far.
Well,
and there's too many comments to go through, but a lot of people have showed up so far today. Oh, here's Todd. We talked about, Terrell Graham, drummer from DC. Him and I have cut records before.
Oh, right on, man. There's a lot of cats that can tap in DC.
Dr. Nikki, our guest from last week. So what's on your mind today, Michael? Anything bothering you today?
Wow, man. It's been a strange sort of few days because I've been really I really haven't been paying attention to the news cycle. I've really just been kind of grinding, man, just getting this music together and trying to figure out, life during COVID. We got offered, I think I was talking to you earlier about a Soul Asylum show. We got offered in September in Somerset, Wisconsin. And, I look more into it and find out that we would be like the maiden voyage of them having an actual live band at this venue. And I was like, listen, one thing, I've been black a long time. What I know about black is never be the first. Let them work them kinks out. Let them get that disinfectant right. Let them get their program together before I come in there. Because I'm not, I have no interest in being a guinea pig. The Tuskegee Airmen did all that. I'm not. You're not gonna try out you for the first time on me. Not. So it turns out they had another date that was available. I think we're working out the details, and they will have tried it with a couple of other bands before we get there. But
that's not the streaming show. That
will be the streaming. That we will be doing the streaming from this gig in Somerset. Yes.
Oh, so it'll be streaming, but with an audience.
Like they're pulling in. It's like a drive-in.
Oh, Oh, okay. So that's basically what my church is doing for the rest of the summer. Is we're setting up outside and we're playing to the parking lot, and people can drive in, and if they get out of their cars, they do so at their own risk, and everybody's expected to be distanced if they do. But that's the concept. I feel like that concept works pretty well as long as people don't mind. And then I think if you use the FM transmitters, then people can stream it and listen on their car radios too.
That's what I heard also. Yeah. So it's a legit situation technologically, but I mean, and I'm not even really worried about the audience as much as it is like the backstage crew and all of that. I don't. It's if their first time around, there's no telling what faux pas may transpire, and it's deadly out there right now. And that ain't how I'm choosing to go out.
Right. I mean, If are they? Do you know if they're requiring masks? For I mean, obviously while you're singing and playing is a different story, but for the backstage crew and while you're not on stage and everything like that.
I don't really know all the details, but that's why I'm saying I don't want to be first. I want to see how this plays out. Somebody got to be first, but it ain't gonna be me.
So, not to change the subject, but I'm seeing a lot of drummers hopping in the comments, and then we might have some first-time viewers this time around that may not know you or may not know your body of work. You want to just kind of, because we got a lot of people that I invited specifically for my birthday. You want to just kind of give them a little heads up about, Nikki, you're supposed to come on camera. You're not supposed to be inboxing me. I sent you the link if you want to join us and say hi on camera, Nikki. Well, while I'm arguing with her, why don't you tell some of the drummers that may not know who you are?
Oh, well, my name's Michael Bland. I'm a musician from Minneapolis, Minnesota, born and raised. I started working for Prince when I was 19 years old. That was my first. That was not my first professional endeavor, actually. Before that, in 1987, I did do a few gigs with a guitar player named Hiram Bullock, who's most famous for being on the David Letterman show, like early on, like the black dude playing guitar with no shoes on. You go back to like the early 80s, that's all Hiram playing guitar. And I did some shows with him. One was in Pittsburgh, one was in New York at a club called McKell's on 97th and Columbus. I don't know if McKell's is still there. Probably not. Anyway, I'm digressing. I worked for Prince until about March of 96. And then I went and did a few other things. I worked for Shaka Khan for a little while. I toured and recorded with another Minneapolis great named Paul Westerberg of the Replacements fame. A little later on, whoa, watch out!
Yeah, we gotta stop. We gotta stop.
Oh man,
I see you, dude.
We gotta put a pause. We gotta put a pause on this because Michael's a legend, but a true legend just came in. I am flattered and honored that this person is here on my birthday.
Hey, happy birthday, man!
Thank you, sir.
So
what's happening, y'all?
For those who don't know, this is the gentleman that taught Prince to play bass and guitar, and I believe also falsetto. This is the gentleman that taught Terry Lewis bass, and is to this day probably one of, if not the best musician in the world. Wouldn't you say, Michael?
Yeah, Sonny is the most influential musician, black musician to come out of Minneapolis. Anybody who succeeded did so based on Sonny Thompson's generosity.
Well, thank you, brother.
Fight me on that.
So
thank you, man.
I'm hoping that one day we can have Sonny Thompson as our official guest because there's so many stories from him I would love to hear.
Yeah, I have to put no pressure on you, Sonny, because I know you don't like the.
Yeah, you know me, man.
But we would love to have you one week officially, Sonny, if you'd be willing.
Oh, sure, man. I do it, man. Hey, who that?
That's one of our guests from last week. that stopped in.
Hello.
She can wait though because Sonny's here. I mean, we gotta.
Oh
we gotta
no,
make
she
time
don't
for
gotta
Sonny.
wait.
We can
Ladies
make time
always
for Sonny.
first.
Oh, well,
So-
see, Sonny always a gentleman.
That's true. So I was just we got Michael, but Sonny is one of the people that like one of the few musicians that I still get choked up around. Like I can't play around Sonny. Like he's that dude.
Man.
And so I'm just, that's quite a birthday gift that Sonny Thompson's here.
No, yeah, man, you got it, brother.
I see.
For
Sonny
sure.
Thompson is my musical soulmate.
Yes, sir. We got a
Together with
symbiosis, man.
Exactly. I can't make the sound that we make together. I can't make with nobody else.
It's crazy, man. It's
Yeah.
the truth for me too.
Yeah.
Hard to find a drummer to play with. I've been banging with Batar, but I love Batar. It's my boy and everything. But
He's all right.
You might though. What they gonna do?
What are you, Sonny? They ain't gonna do nothing.
Hey, Batar.
Yeah, exactly. Get over here.
I'm on a streaming show, man. You gotta come over here. Michael Bland's on here.
Is Patar over there with you?
Where y'all at?
Yeah, man. We're in Asheville, man.
Okay.
Oh wow. Patar's seen the show before, so he knows.
Yeah.
What's up, Patar?
Whoa.
Whoa.
What up, bro?
What's going on, Patar? The favorite Serbian has arrived.
The legends.
So,
how you doing, man?
Man, Sonny is destroying the city.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Crushing it.
are you guys streaming any of the shows?
These are not shows. This is a session that's gonna be dropped. Can't talk too much about it,
Can't really talk about it because
Okay.
they're gonna
insane.
sue us if we do.
but it'll come out soon. We're doing a really cool session,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dope, man. It's pretty dope.
and this is the world's hero, like you are, Michael Bland.
Yeah.
Everything that I'm delivering is thanks to you. I'm gonna just put that out in public,
Well, you know what? We sowed our energy into you, man. It's your job to go out there.
Yeah, that's right.
And even today, Sonny's looking at me. Come on, man, get with it, man.
Uh-huh.
Come on, man, get with it, man.
Come on, give it to me, man. Come on now.
Give it to me,
So-
bro.
You learned right.
I'm gonna put his
Right.
name on the screen, and hopefully I spell it right, so you guys can go Google. Let me know if I'm spelling his name right. Patar Janik. Is that spelled
Yeah,
correctly?
that's how you spell it, but it's
Oh, there's
geometry.
another
It's all
J in there after the end.
geometry. You have to roll.
Oh yeah, we gotta go, man. I just wanted to just
Okay.
chime in for a minute.
Look,
God bless y'all. Happy birthday, man. Have a great day, man. We'll hook up, man. I'll come on the show, man. We rap, man.
all right,
Sonny.
Sonny.
Man,
Be
I
safe,
love
man.
you. Thank you so much.
We
All
love
right,
you,
God
man.
bless you guys, man.
All right,
Peace
man.
now.
Be good now.
All right.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I hope the people that are watching realized what an epic moment that was to have Sonny Thompson. Again, if you don't know who that was Prince's childhood bass and guitar teacher, Terry Lewis's childhood bass teacher, and could to this day still kick either one of their asses at any instrument. It's just, I mean, am I wrong, Michael, or am I wrong?
You're not wrong. I mean, you got to give people credit for being motivated and seeking out information. You can't just say, they still had to do it. All Sonny did was show them how to do the heavy lifting. But when you got somebody like that in your community, then you know where the watermark's at.
There's a reason why, and we'll get to Nikki in a second, since she's just hanging out here looking way too cool.
Wow.
But there's a reason why every young musician that I've ever gotten a chance, I took them up to Bunkers to hear you and Sonny play together.
Sure.
And it is, I mean, granted, Margie's also one of the most amazing people in the world, and Billy and Kevin now, and back in the day, Bill and whoever, I mean, there's a lot of great musicians in that band, but unless you're a singer, if you're a singer, then I want you to hear Margie. But if you're a musician, the most important thing is hearing you and Sonny play together. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, I don't disagree. It's something happened. The first time we both played together was on that Bunkers stage. We played Chameleon. And as soon as we hit the groove, it was like we looked at each other like there was just something. There was an understanding from the first note. I don't know how to explain it. And what's funny to me is that I realized the other day that Prince really picked up on it, but he wasn't around that much. But he had seen Sonny playing with the Steels at the Fine Line, and I was playing down at Bunkers. Like how he figured out Sonny, like our symbiosis, and decided, yeah, I could use that. You know, I can get right in the middle of that. You know, it's a real interesting thing. A friend of mine who will be on the show actually next week, Brother Gabriel, had said to me the spiritual significance of the number 3. Like he kind of broke it all down to me. He's like, the 3 is an important number. It's an important configuration. And I started noticing all these kind of relationships, these triangular relationships in my life. But yeah, it was like, I mean, I guess that's why we made so many repeat visits to Paisley even after we had been fired, was because we had that symbiosis and a sort of shorthand way of processing the music that took Prince no time. He could do what he wanted, and he knew we would just understand and go with it. So
it's pretty amazing that, like, I mean, if I go look at the session credits, how many times you guys kept recording with him after you were fired. I mean, right. all the way through to the end.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, recently, I think I told you that I was listening to, I can't remember what album it is, but it's one of the later albums. And I didn't know that was you. Like the first time I listened to the CD, I wasn't paying attention. And then I went back and listened to Groovy Potential. And like the second there was a drum fill, I was like, oh, Michael played this record too?
Yeah.
You know?
He recycled me a couple times too, but he did that. At least he told me about it. I didn't get paid twice, but
so I want to put a pin in that because I do want to hear some stories from those days, but I don't want to leave Nikki sitting there looking too cool.
We have the illustrious Dr. Nikki right here with us. We need to give her our time and our attention.
Hi.
So
happy birthday. And
thank you,
Michael.
Hello.
So you look like you're celebrating.
Yes. Just excited to have something to do. We're still in a pandemic in Louisiana. They extended their phase 2 an additional 2 weeks today. And the Mississippi governor started a statewide mask mandate today.
Wow. So y'all might have a chance.
But let me tell you this. He sent everybody back to school except for 8 counties.
Ooh.
Yeah. So everybody's going back to school. Some tomorrow, some on Thursday. My baby starts Thursday.
I was going to ask, what is that? What are the implications of that to you personally? I see. How are you? Are you cautiously optimistic, or you?
Well, as I said last week, they're giving us the option of sending him back full-fledged or doing 100% online. Mm-hmm. I just talked with the secretary, and I'm actually going up to the school tomorrow, and I'm going to visit his classroom. I'm going to see how many desks are in there, how they're spaced out. I'm going to look at the cafeteria. And if I'm happy with everything, I'm going to send him back, and we'll see what happens.
Yes, doing what a concerned parent does. I hear you, Nikki. That's fantastic.
And you don't have to get into it if you don't want to. Are you? And I just lost. You know what? I just lost my question just that quick. So you don't have to get into, you don't have to get into it all.
Okay.
It's the orange soda. That's
what's in the orange soda.
Really just orange soda.
What's in the orange soda, that's the problem.
This is one of my birthday gifts from my wife. She knows I like to try new things, so she got me a bunch of craft sodas to try. And I'm not a big soda drinker per se, but I love trying stuff. So
okay,
I've got orange cream and dark cream. I don't even know what that is. Let me see what it tastes like.
That's interesting. I bought some of those yesterday. I bought the orange cream for my baby, and I got the craft cherry.
Were they at the Dollar Tree?
No, they were at a local supermarket we have called Rouse's.
Okay. I have a suspicion that my wife found them at the Dollar Tree because she's got the eye for finding the stuff at the Dollar Tree.
I see.
What was I gonna? I remember what I was gonna ask you, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to. We got another one here.
Whoa!
I'll finish my question to Nikki, and then we'll introduce. Oh, why aren't you wearing one of my shirts, Nikki?
I don't have one.
Why not? They're available for sale.
Is this something that came out with the birthday invitation? I missed
No,
it.
I've been posting them on my profile for years. I thought you were a friend. Apparently, you're not a friend.
Not that kind of shirt.
I might have my friend make me one before you trademark it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have a birthday hat. I mean, I have a hat, but I don't have a birthday cone. But happy birthday,
Thank you.
Dan.
You missed. I was gonna throw a real good joke in there. When she said she was gonna steal my designs, I was gonna call her Kev on stage.
Ooh.
I don't even know what that means, but all right.
It's a private joke between me and Tiffany.
That's good. Keep it private.
It's
Terrell, I'm
rectified.
reading your comments, Terrell, just so you know. I'm checking it out.
It got
That's
taken
great.
care
Your
of.
daughter at Duke Ellington School of the Arts on the drums. Great, man. I'm watching. Sorry, I just wanted him to know that I'm seeing what he's writing.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
no
good.
trouble. I'll
Hi,
send you.
Mike.
Hello, how are you?
What's up, Mike? I'm good. How are you? Sorry, Dan.
I'm
No, go
still
ahead.
alive, still breathing. I'm
That's
in
right.
there. I'm staying positive. I'm trying to get mine, and I know that's what you're trying to do.
And you trying to get yours? I'm trying to get
That's
mine.
what Dr.
Trying
Nikki's
to get
trying to do.
yours?
Yeah.
Hey,
Trying to
Dr.
get what's coming
Nikki.
to us. Black people
How
in
you doing,
time.
Tiff?
That's right.
It's
Black people
fine,
and Dan.
And Dan.
My favorite blight, as I like to call him, my favorite blight. Happy birthday to my favorite blight.
Favorite blight person?
My favorite blight person.
Wow.
The light-skinned phenom
right.
himself,
Mhm.
you know.
Oh,
Dan Dolezal.
we froze up on you, Tiff. Sorry.
So
Okay.
Nikki.
Still unfreeze.
So Nikki.
There she is. All right.
What I was gonna ask you is so if everything, if you go down to the school and it looks like they've got everything the best that they can do as far as taking precautions and distancing and everything like that, so what would be the reason to assuming they're doing everything right, what's the reason for your sending your son back? Is it so that he can have that interaction?
Yes. At the age of 9, he definitely needs to be around his peers. And this is a point in the curriculum where they start to take on a lot of new things, more complicated things, and reading and oh, we got somebody else coming? Oh,
So
Yes.
Hello.
Fabulous.
what is that background?
I love it.
Your sound is off, Nia. I can't think we can hear you.
She's fabulous. She doesn't have to talk. She can just stand there, sit there, and just look that way.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the air conditioner on or something super loud?
Yeah, hang on.
I think now we lost your.
Oh, she muted it because she's going to tell Alexa to turn the air conditioner off.
Did that work?
There's still
that
some
better?
noise in the background, but it'll be cool.
The Queen can have noise in the background.
Yeah. Okay. Well, where did that background come from?
The dollar store.
So I was just pointing out that these were probably a dollar store. I haven't even been looking at the comments, Maya. That's not cool. That is not acceptable.
Oh man.
That is
Dan Dolezal. I said it. I think Dan was trying to talk over me when I said
BD.
it. Dan
BD,
Dolezal
what's up, BD?
in the house.
that was not acceptable. So, okay. Well, you look amazing. I haven't seen you since earlier, and you look amazing, baby.
Yes,
So,
Nia. Yes, Nia.
Yes.
so I don't even need to say anything at this point. I got all, we got Michael and all these beautiful women here. I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy my birthday.
All this
So-
black excellence.
Right.
And Dan.
Yeah.
And Dan. Yeah. So
Man.
Yes, Dollar Tree represent.
all day. Yes.
So I guess, Nia, I know that you're probably not going to want to stick around for long, although, of course, you're welcome to stay the whole time if you want to. Is there anything specifically you wanted to talk to us about while we have you?
Did y'all talk about Denver? or Aurora.
Oh, we haven't talked about anything serious yet. We've been joking around, and then Sonny popped on for a bit, and that was a nice birthday
I saw
surprise.
that part. I got cut off. I had to mute when Nikki was talking about the school, going back to school plans. Did I miss anything after that?
Not really. I don't think so. You want to be the bringer of serious topics? We can hit a serious topic.
No. I don't want to change the mood. I just want someone to be outraged too.
Oh, well, I mean, I think you have 4
But
people.
what happened to Denver? Yeah, look, can I just ask her what? Because I'm not
familiar.
What happened?
The other day, a black family was pulled over and held at gunpoint,
Saw
including
that.
the
The
children.
kids. Yes.
Including the 6-year-old. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware and outraged. They lived through it, which I guess is the best thing I can say about that.
I think I saw the video of that start. Like they had the kids out on the ground.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That was that. Man, I had to skip right past it. I couldn't. I ever since Ahmaud, I'm like, Ahmaud Arbery, that really shook me, man. Like I can't watch my people in peril like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing something to me. I feel like on some level, the more I watch, I fear that a desensitization, if that's a word, is coming over me. Like that's not natural to watch people hunted and killed in the street. That's craziness. So I just kind of said no, and then George Floyd popped up, and I'm like, okay, I guess this will have to be the last. But I can't sit through that. I really can't.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that somebody informed me of what's happening.
Yeah, I mean they were okay, but I mean that's traumatic for those kids to be pushed down.
Right? Yeah. Never okay again, really.
Yeah.
No.
I'm
The bar
upset
is very
at
low.
the incompetence of the officers because from what I read, they had the same license plate, but they were looking for a suspect that was on a motorcycle. How do you mistake a motorcycle, a minivan for a motorcycle? It was an SUV or a minivan.
Right.
Who does that?
And then to subject children, you're never, ever, their police training tells them not to do that to, certain age groups. You're not to subject children. These were little kids that they, who they put on the ground in the sun, on the asphalt. And that goes against department standards in many ways. And I think that these officers were just so proud at the time that they carried out this egregious act, because to stop it at that time would be them admitting fault, and I think so many officers now feel protected by the blue, those who back the blue and their governmental mitigation, that they're like, we can just go ahead and go through with this and we'll be exonerated in some way. We can always clear our name. And no, because you've just traumatized an entire family. And like Nia said, you've just subjected these children to ongoing trauma that will stay with them for the rest of their lives. How is that?
Change your lives forever, yes.
Absolutely. With malicious intent, like they deliberately did that. It wasn't accidental, so people should be outraged. And it's repetitive. There's so many incidents that we can become desensitized, but I hope that with each one, we are angered just like the last, if not more, and propelled forward in this. But you got to protect your peace as well and not watch, like George Floyd's full chest cam video came out. I can't watch that.
I haven't.
Me neither. It's like 87 minutes.
I haven't either, but I was looking at the comments. I live in Mississippi, by the way, Tiff.
What part?
And Mississippi Gulf Coast, Gulfport, Diamond Head area.
Oh, okay, yeah, my family is from Canton, so I love Canton. And
that's where my people are from. I just live down here. I'm originally from Jackson, but my people are from Canton and Camden.
Canton, exactly. The Nichols. We'll talk about that. Okay, we'll figure it out.
All right, we got a connection going on here.
But people were saying that it was justified now because he was high,
right?
And most of us were like, okay, he deserved to die because he had drugs in his system. They're like, well, he was resisting arrest. So like, well, he couldn't breathe. Well, he was already saying he couldn't breathe before they put him on the ground. He was probably having a panic attack.
That's exactly right. He'd been shot before by the authorities, hadn't he?
Yeah, and I'm like, how can people be so evil and insensitive?
Right.
You guys, as musicians, aware of the J.W. Lucas comments about Breonna Taylor?
Yeah. He was some famous producer that I'm not really, like, I wasn't really aware of him before this, that went on Twitter or Instagram or one of those and basically said that it was her fault because she had in her past associated with a known drug dealer, and therefore it was her own fault for getting shot.
Who hasn't associated with a known drug dealer or a known drug dealer? Exactly. I mean, let's just be real. We've all been on this planet long enough where we cross paths with nefarious characters or those who may not even be. White folks can be drug users and dealers legally. We are not allowed to do those things or make that type of decision. So it's just another way to victim blame. It's just another way to victim blame.
Tiffany, you're funny because you just brought to mind a thing I saw on Ta-Nehisi Coates explaining how come certain words are off limits and talking about how his wife and her friends, they all call themselves the B words. He ain't gonna walk in the middle of the situation and, hey, how y'all B words doing?
Right.
It insinuates a certain kind of familiarity that's not available to you.
Right.
This because this white person got up and asked, how come we can't use the N-word?
Right.
And he tried to explain, yeah, I know you don't get to sing along to your favorite song and everything. You know, you're a hip-hop fan. That's great. But I tell you what, the fact that you can't use it should bring you closer to the hip-hop experience. You know why?
Right.
Because to be black is to walk through this world looking at other people doing stuff you can't do.
Say it.
And that just, gave me the tinkle. I thought about that when you said what you just said. If you really want to be a fan of hip-hop, then get that experience. Understand why that's off limits to you.
And it's that respectability politicking that is so damaging and prevalent. And, you know, the idea that if Black folks only did A, then B wouldn't happen to them. And it's, no, you can't, that's a false equivalency completely, especially
and
when you're
they'll
dealing
keep
with
moving the goalposts. They'll keep pushing along.
Yeah.
Every time you knock down one of their false arguments in the first place, nobody deserves to die in the street with somebody's knee on their neck. Nobody
said that. Remember the white guy who was hit in the back of the head by the officer?
Yeah.
No one victim blamed him and said, well, if he hadn't have, been in consortium with a drug dealer 20 years ago, this wouldn't have happened. You know, no, there's no rationalization for crimes against people you recognize humanity in. But if you don't see the humanity in people, then you can downplay it, minimize it, and
Your president called him Antifa.
Yes, I remember that. Who said your president?
I mean, he's not mine. That's y'all.
I don't know if anybody here can qualify for that.
Called him Antifa, right? Like, come on, just radicalism and moving the goalposts. Now Antifa encompasses this innocent white guy, older senior male who's victimized, bashed violently by a police officer. He is Antifa. No, that officer is Antifa.
Still ridiculous.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that was insanity to me. How are you just going to run an old man down in the street and then leave him there?
Right.
The one dude was like, no, don't bend down there.
Right. Literally stepped over him, stepped
Blood
around.
leaking out the back of his head. I saw it. That was crazy.
I have a question, Nia. Were you trying to get Michael riled up or Tiffany riled up? Because you succeeded in both.
Let's grab everybody from the comments. Y'all get on here.
Some good comments too.
Oh yeah. By the way, another Tiffany there. She's a writer for what I think Marie Claire and New York Times and a bunch of stuff. We got to have her on the show at some point too. She's amazing.
Tiffany, yes,
absolutely.
So, anyhow, so I didn't mean to take you off of everybody being outraged.
You know how much fire start up when Tiffany and Dr. Nikki and Nia get on?
Well, having Nia on here is new. You know, we don't get this privilege every week.
Can we all just stop and look at Nia for a second? Can everyone just look at Nia? Just behold. Just behold the missus. Doesn't she look fab? Come on, you better represent princess. Yes, representing for her man. First of all, this is a wife. This is a woman. This is a strong Black woman in every way.
Hype me up.
I mean, you know, strong Black woman in every way possible, and has, you know, if it weren't for her, Dan wouldn't be here. Dan wouldn't be here. Dan wouldn't be here. You know, so Nia, thank you for everything that you do and for loving that man and loving yourself. You know, thank you so much.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for real spiffy.
I can't believe
my girl. My girl. Thank you.
I didn't put this together before, but actually, everybody on the screen right now are some of the key people that kept me alive. Because Nia, obviously my wife, and if those who've read the story know that she's the only reason they even admitted me into the hospital when they were going to send me home to die. And Michael and Tiffany are two of the people besides my wife that kept me company in the hospital virtually when nobody could come see me. And that's not a small thing, because my well-being, I was going crazy, you know. And then Nikki, as we know from last week's episode, is a doctor. And as soon as I, you know, was able to, I reached out to her and got her second opinion on pretty much everything that's been going on with me. Mm-hmm. And so, this is a great combination of people to have on the screen for my birthday, because these are some of the people why I'm making it to 36. Now, that said, if somebody else pops in a few minutes, I don't want to make them feel like, you know, like they got to live up to that now all of a sudden.
Well, it takes a village, Dan. Somebody said that. You know, nobody gets where they're going. You know, nobody survives all this by themselves. Mm-hmm. We're in this together. This is just an opportunity for us to show it.
Yeah.
So, again, since we have the privilege of my wife being here, is there anything else you want to rile people up about?
You mentioned some other city or state. She said Denver, and that.
No, I just wanted to ask, what do you think the repercussions are going to be for white people working in Black art going forward? It seems like there's been a general pass. I'm thinking of the J.W. Lucas issue.
Oh, because go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because he works in hip hop. So what accountability do we hold Black artists to? And going forward, how do we choose who is being let in, right, to who's invited to the barbecue?
What you trying to say, Nia? You trying to say something to me, Nia?
There should be a vetting process.
She's saying what she's saying.
I'm just wondering if she's trying to get some marital issues out here, you know.
Why, you ain't invited to the cookout, man?
That's what I'm wondering. Is that what you're insinuating? What did I do?
I think we should pay attention.
Your husband, you did something.
And I would love to see in a year if he's still working or what happens. It seems like we're very quick to cancel Black folks. Maya!
Watch out.
Girls in the house. Like girls here.
My goodness.
Like girls here. Yes. Yes. You know, Nia, real quick, I think that this is not my quote, so I'm not going to take it. But someone said on social media, this is the cookout, the proverbial cookout. And to watch how white people and non-Black people act and behave during this period of time should, in fact, determine how we deal with them going forward. So their silence is complacency. Their outbursts of ignorance should be noted and remembered, and they should be held, you know, their feet should be held to the fire. So I think that this last few months really is indicative of who, you know, an ally is and what kind of allyship we should expect. And even then, we've gotten kind of a bare minimum of allyship from many. And it's like, let's look at the ones who are doing more. Ryan Reynolds just said that he is going to employ so many Black and Indigenous people on his next set, and he's going to pay them out of his own salary and provide all of the housing and transportation because he wants that type of representation. So, you know, Todd just said white silence is violence. Absolutely. Silence is violence. And, you know, and if you're white, it's the time to really weaponize your voice because people listen to you. Be an ally. So you're at the cookout. What you gonna do?
I don't want to change. I don't want to change the subject. I just, my boss from the church just wished me happy birthday. I wanted to shout him out. That's Assistant Pastor Thaddeus Hanna, because we were talking before about while I was in the hospital, and my church could not have treated me better when I was sick. And I really just want to make sure that they get, the appreciation for that, because I've worked in ministry my whole life. I've worked with a lot of churches, and a lot of times churches don't do right by people, and sometimes it's intentional and sometimes it's not. But I could not have asked for them to have taken better care of me as both an employee and a member while I was in the hospital. So Assistant Pastor Thaddeus Hanna, thank you for for stopping by for my birthday, and thank you for the birthday wishes. Go back to being outraged now. I'm sorry.
I'm glad you caught that. Tiffany Drayton, she's dropping nuggets now.
I told you we need to have her on at some point.
Okay.
Huh.
So,
yes, Tiffany. Yes.
Mm-hmm. She's right.
Performance.
People like Justin Timberlake and even Bruno to a certain degree to me. I'm like, they've been curiously quiet during this whole ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see how they're going to resurface.
Right.
It's,
right.
Especially, some of them. I mean, I don't know if I'd necessarily call them culture vultures, but you're talking about people who could have done any kind of music, but they want to jump in our arena.
Right.
Well, I mean, what arena is there to jump in that's not black music other than classical?
Well,
because
even that's black.
We got classical too. A lot of
hello.
Okay, go ahead.
Beethoven.
I don't need to inform them. They already know. What's wrong with you, Dan? That's all I do.
He's trying to represent for his people. No, Beethoven is ours, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Not only that,
I won't take it for the whites.
A lot of those classical themes and melodies and whatnot and counterpoint and harmony, all that's Africa. The Africans singing all that. They heard that in the bush and went back to Europe and said, "Hey, look at what I invented." No, you didn't.
Right.
The other thing.
Hey, birthday.
Hey, Maya.
Maya.
Everybody remembers Maya from the Be a Possibility episode?
Yes.
Maya.
And
my friend right there.
Can you move me? Because I can't be next to Nia looking like that. And then
I'm like
I'm sure there's a way to move people. I'm not sure I know how to do it.
Go like this. And then put your finger over the screen. So Nia can shine.
I'm gonna try. I'll try removing some people and adding them back and see if that gets you guys in the order you want to be in. Because I don't know.
Ridiculous. I mean, I'm just gonna gaze on her. You're a lucky man. Look what Lord been blessed you with.
So what order do we want to be in?
Everyone looks fabulous.
No, center square don't do that. What's wrong with you?
Oh no!
It out. Okay.
Okay, why am I being segregated?
Don't make me laugh. You know I'm not 100% well. I can't laugh.
No.
Come on, Dan. Don't die out right on the screen.
All that fineness? I don't know. I'm not. It's too much. I'm ill prepared.
Come back, Tiffany.
Okay.
Everybody looks great. What's the problem?
Look at Nia.
Yeah, I know. I can't.
See?
So the other comment I was looking for that was unrelated, I was going to shout out. You were talking about Terrell earlier. There we go. Mm-hmm. I've done records with him, but his daughter plays drums, and so when you get a chance, I've watched some of her videos on YouTube. She's learning, but she's got potential. So Michael, you should definitely connect with Terrell and his daughter. I'm sure that would mean a lot to them.
If you know him well enough, just send him my information.
Oh, I know him very well. I used to. I very briefly worked at the same church as him, a very big church in DC, and we cut records together. And yeah, absolutely.
Sure. I mean, whatever I can do to help, Terrell.
By the way, Calvin Rogers told me to tell you hello.
Oh man.
I told him to come by today, but I don't know if he'll show up. But Calvin Rogers wanted to make sure I said hello to you. So I'm just,
man.
yeah. of,
Okay.
of the next generation of drummers. I mean, he's got to be it. You know what I mean? Of the generation after yours, that's the drummer.
He was next. He was the next dude that everybody was like, oh, okay. And with the chops and with the taste and with his own sound, you know, like he didn't have to do a whole lot. The power in making those notes count. Like he was the first of those young dudes that came in. Like when all my people were starting to sit down, he was coming up. So
one of the things that
I think you need to address the question here, Dan, about your jacket.
Yeah, from Angelo.
I feel like I need to borrow that for my next photo shoot because I think it needs to be properly branded and whatever.
Okay.
Nia's permission, because your clothes aren't your clothes. With Nia's permission,
that's not the.
Yeah, get it out of here.
It's not the jacket. You got the same colors, but that's not the pattern that Prince had on his during that segment of that film. I know what he's trying to say though.
I'd have to go and look at that Prince video because I don't even remember what the Hot Thing video looked like.
Hot Thing from the Sign of the Times movie.
I know
this like multicolored circles on black.
Is it in the movie, in the concert movie, or was there a separate video?
No, it's in the concert movie. He's playing the Hammond. Before
I can picture him playing the Hammond. I just can't picture what he's wearing.
Well, he's wearing the same thing. When the lights come up, the backdrop is the same that he's got on.
That right there. You're over here. Right there.
What am I missing? What's that, Mike?
This was an internet special, so this is definitely not the same thing. Well, actually, I take that back. I got this from the internet, but it wasn't like this. So then I took it to the tailor, and she hooked it up. I got something from the internet and had it custom made from there. But,
all right. Well, what's in the lining?
What'd you say?
What's the lining?
Just plain black.
All right.
Stand up and give us a twirl.
Wait a second, because what if I'm not wearing anything on the bottom?
Well,
celebrate real birthday suit.
Giving us birthday. Hey.
Yeah.
So your wife won't let you sit around the house in your drawers.
Exactly.
Hold on a second. The pastor of my church just checked in, so we got to give him. And doesn't he look like Morris Day?
He looked like Morris Day, the pastor. Oh, yes.
Oh, he's official. He is superintendent.
Yes.
Thank you, Pastor.
My church has treated me so well.
Okay, I think I found it.
What is Nikki doing?
The jacket?
Yeah, let me see. Can I?
She's trying to show you. That's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not the same. This is musical notes. That's just circles. Mine's better. Well,
now Angelo's going to put a hit on you for that.
Yeah.
We get bold at 36 now, don't
The
we?
nerve.
Yeah.
But anyhow, thank you, Pastor. I don't know if you're hanging out and watching or not, but thank you so much. And thank you, Greater Mount Sinai, for having treated me so well, especially during the pandemic and while I was sick. Again, I can't say enough good things about my church. So commercial break there.
Nikki, where'd you get that hat? What's going on with that? I'm intrigued.
This is actually a Mardi Gras hat from about maybe 6 years ago when I was riding with the crew of Ocean. Most people, they get off the float, they throw the costumes away. I keep all of mine.
Who's riding with the crew?
Okay.
Yes, I don't ride with them anymore. I ride with crew of Athena now. We're all African American.
Yes.
You've heard of them?
That is a goal of mine. Yes. Yes.
Oh, come ride with us.
Yes.
Hold on a second, Tiffany. I got a bone to pick with you because Nia, get her back.
Left the building.
Get her back, Nia. I have tried to connect you with Nikki for a long time now, and the whole thing about you. Well, I can't remember what you said, but basically, like, friendships don't work when I try to set them up and make them happen. Like
no. I was a lot less eloquent than that. I said basically I don't like forced relationships because Dan will be like, Tiffany, I know somebody X, Y, and Z, and you guys would be best friends. But connect you right now, and I'm like, yo, I'm an only child. I'm a Capricorn. You got to ease me into like connections and stuff because if it's forced, then I start to feel a little like, ooh, I self-isolate anyway. You know what I mean? The quarantine has been kind of my life. So I'm like, whoa. But no, Nikki, yes, we are organically are now connected.
Yeah, I saw that.
See, exactly.
And maybe related.
And probably related. We don't even need Dan. He's over here. We don't even need Dan. We don't even need, okay? We need Nia. We can keep Nia. We don't need Dan.
This is why I like this show. And this is one of my favorite things, is because my favorite thing in the world is to connect people. I just love it when I see, oh, this person would love this person. Let me put them together. And it's my favorite thing in the world, more than music, more than food, more than all the other things I love. I love, like, putting people together. It just makes
you are Black people meet, and I'm not on Black people meet. And you could go ahead and start that if you like. That's another venture.
Oh, let's see. Is it a dog or a cat? I didn't see who it was. Oh,
happy birthday. That's Rocky. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Well, why did I say happy birthday to the dog?
It's okay.
Michael, is the cat still in the room?
No, my wife took the cat upstairs, so the cat was meowing a lot.
You missed it. The cat was talking to me all through the first part of the show.
We wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
The poor cat. The cat already they gave the cat. It's not a hysterectomy. They spayed the. The cat got spayed last week. And, sorry, Maya.
PETA, that's not what happened. Humane Society of Wisconsin, that's not what happened.
He's in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minnesota, that's not what happened. Before they report you.
The cat was spayed. And they said the cat was going to be, it's going to be a whole different personality probably because of the hormones. And no, the cat did not. The cat came back in the house hollering. It ain't stopped.
Well, wouldn't you holler if they took your junk off?
Yeah, I'm saying I've been trying to.
This conversation has taken a turn.
I'm just saying the cat makes a lot of noise. She's been through a lot recently.
Pastor still here? I don't know if this is appropriate.
Yeah. So, just for the people. The people that are joining us this week, normally this is a serious show, although we try to infuse some levity. Normally we have some topics and discussions. This week we're just having a good time, and I'm just happy to be with some of my favorite people. And I'm really glad how many people have showed up in the comments. So yeah, this is, Pastor, if you're watching, pray for us. Pray for us. That's all I can say. So. You want to get everybody fired up again, Nia? What you got?
No. I was going to mute myself so that can you still hear whatever it was?
I don't know. I don't remember anymore.
Everybody smile.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Black folks are. We're resilient. We ain't even heard that noise.
Yeah.
Got it.
Thank you. Hey, we finally got your tagline finally made it in the frame, Tiffany.
Oh, yeah. The real Spiffy, yes. By virtue of me being a full year older than you and being named Tiffany, Tiffy has always been Spiffy, and I've always had that moniker. And then I feel like once we were became friends on Twitter, you really leaned into it more so as a personality, and you kind of appropriated it like your people do. And now you are wanting to be Spiffy. And I am also Spiffy. We have to duel, essentially.
Okay, I want to get into the duel. Like, I want to know what kind of weapons we're using and everything like that. But first and foremost,
before you get into that though, so I don't know if you grew up with this tradition though, because in the hood, on your birthday, you had to get birthday licks. So people like giving verbal birthday licks right now.
Oh, I see. That's why she.
Yes.
She can pepper him up a little bit.
Yes.
Pepper him tip.
But she would do this on August 5th. So yeah. I don't really think that's.
I plan to berate you on August 5th as well.
I don't think that's related, honestly. But so didn't we already go through the chronology? Didn't we talk? So because mine dates back to middle school.
Sounds like revisionist history, and that's something that you guys do. And I'm not going to engage today because we're having a joyful time, Dan, with the organ.
No. Just no.
Dan on the organ.
No,
Dang.
no, that one does not
That's
make.
the name. That's the one that's supposed to stick. You're dropping Spiffy and restoring it to its
No,
original
Dan
grandeur,
organ?
and you're going with
That-
Dan with the organ.
That does not
Dan
make the cut.
Organ.
Dan with the organ. Yes,
Does not make the cut.
I'm
What do
making shirts.
Okay, I'll wear one of the shirts. You know,
Dan with the organ.
I expect. So when can we expect that on typography.threadless.com?
When? I mean, you know, it takes creativity takes time. Where'd Maya go? Maya left. Creativity takes time. Just we'll get there. Dan with the organ. I got to throw around some concepts that are appropriate for pastors.
So it's funny because Terrell in the comments said Dan and Tiff do a versus. Earlier, I was trying to get Nia and Tiff to do a versus because both of y'all have rap careers in your history.
She'd kill me. She just sit there and look like that, and I'd lose. So no, thank you.
Yeah, I'm
We're
trying
not
to get.
infighting.
What'd you say, Nia?
I said we're not infighting.
Exactly.
I'm still trying to get Nia to get back into her music, but you know that battle I've lost that battle as well. So I guess I shouldn't bring that to the air, huh, Nia?
Sis is tired. Let me do the jobs I already got.
That part.
Okay, well, let's have another smooth segue.
Nice,
was
not
bumpy.
going as smooth as you thought it was gonna go, huh, Dan?
Well,
You're going down like some Thunderbird tonight, baby.
oh yeah, I gotta get my. Who else has got the streamers? Michael's got. Where's your festivities, Maya? All you got is that birthday cake flavored drink or what is that?
Sure.
Birthday boy, I just heard a car pull up, and so that means I need to go finish dinner.
I got you. Oh, he got you.
You heard the knock. Well, have a happy birthday, and it's good seeing everybody. And Dan,
Yes.
I will see you online. And happy National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day.
Oh yeah. Real quick, so Nikki's episode was last week. Go back if you want to see that. We were talking about the pandemic and the reopening of schools. So go back and see episode 9 if you want to see Nikki. Thank you so much for joining me on my birthday, Nikki. Thank you for sticking around through all the foolishness.
You're welcome, and I will see everyone in social media land.
All
Love
right.
you, Nikki.
Stay safe and healthy.
Oh, she left. Oh,
What?
I was going to get my birthday thing, and I didn't hear Nikki say she was leaving. But bye, Nikki.
Oh, she's on Facebook. You'll be okay. So yeah, you got your birthday thing?
Yes. It started off as water, and then Jesus turned it into wine or whiskey.
Okay.
So
Here for it.
Okay. Yeah.
May do a shot for your birthday because I can't punch you, you know. So it's kind of customary to do a shot. And I was going to show Nikki that I have one of my shot glasses, one of my favorite ones, which is a New Orleans shot glass of a scene.
You stick your pinky out when you drink like that?
Dan, this is to
I
you.
didn't realize.
Wait, here we go. Dan,
she's
this
cultured.
is to you.
She's cultured, Michael.
Very cultured. What is that, Jarritos? What are you drinking?
This is just a flavored cream soda that my wife got me a bunch of gourmet sodas for my birthday.
Maya, I see that pinky.
Love.
She likes she knows I like to try new stuff. And I would do a birthday shot with you, but I'm still on medications that I'm supposed to be taking with alcohol. So
that's okay.
let me
I'm at home. I'm safer at home, so I'm going to go ahead and take a shot. Yeah, don't put that down for someone screenshots it and has all your information. Put that down.
I don't care. What would they get? What would they get about me?
I mean, who knows what I could get? But just give me a few minutes. I probably could find something if you give me the information. You know,
Susanna could for sure.
You talk to Black Excellence. Black Excellence will always find a way.
Exactly.
That's true.
So can we toast to Dan real quick?
Yeah. Do I have
We have anything? Yes. All assorted beverages.
My birthday's here. I keep coming off. How does this even work? There we go.
Toad. Yes.
Got it on? Get your cream
There we
soda.
go.
Dan, it is your day. You deserve it. You have fought very long and hard to get to this moment. Everything in your past has led to this. You are worthy. You are appreciated. You are special. And we are all so grateful to have you in our lives. Thank you so much for everything you do and everything you are. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
That was so sweet.
Affirmations.
What'd you say, Maya?
I said, come on, affirmations.
So.
Oh, no.
You not having gonna make it tonight.
I know. What's the problem?
Because I got headphones on, and headphones and hat don't go together. But
And you trying to put that crown on top of that unstable base of the podcast. Why don't you
Because your base unstable.
It's an unstable base.
put the crown prongs legs situations under your headphones so that they have additional stability and it'll just stay perched above your head.
That's my new band name, Unstable Base.
okay.
Listen, that's my new description for some people. You have an unstable base.
A very unstable base. It is wobbly.
You,
You and your base are unstable.
Unstable base.
That's deep. What's next? What's the segue?
I was just debating. I know when early on, Michael was telling some stories from music. He was telling some Paisley Park stories, and I wanted you were talking about recording when we were talking about groovy potential and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
Hi, Nevelyn. Sorry.
And I was debating. I was just in my head debating whether now was a good time to circle back to that or not. I mean, I love hearing Michael tell stories from his music career. So that, I mean, this show would be that every week if it was just for me. But I don't necessarily want to put him on the spot. But I do. I don't know how to be like, Michael, tell stories now. And then okay, well,
he's supposed to be story man for you. He's supposed to be her running root tales.
Who am I, Uncle Remus? What is this, Song of the South?
Right. Are we missing this piece now? Is that what we do?
So
let me think.
While he's thinking, I will answer Lynn's question, or at least try to. And by the way, the questions are open. Anybody can comment any question for any one of us at any time. So the questions are open, whether it's for me, Michael, or my wife, or any of our guests. I'll be honest, Lynn. Like, just not knowing how the world is changing, my goal is just to survive at this point. Both with my health and my career and everything else. I don't have any specific goals set beyond that because I don't know what 2021 is going to look like. I don't know what the landscape is going to be. And I mean, if we're still in a pandemic, that would drastically affect, because also I still don't know how long my recovery is going to take. I'm mostly recovered, but I don't know how long it's going to be before I can resume a completely normal life. So I'm just taking it one day at a time and following, and taking opportunities as they come. I love using this show as an example because I never would have thought of doing something like this before coming out of, being sick and the pandemic and everything like that, and saying, hey, now that everybody's stuck at home, we can use this platform. And so I would have never set a goal like this, but it has been a great thing that's come out of it. I will say my goal is always to work with Michael more because I love Michael. I mean, we don't just do this show because we do this show. We do this show because at least he's one of my favorite people. I don't want to presume the same, but
let's just advise by saying, no one else can stand either one of us. So we just kind of,
So, I mean, other than that, it's just to kind of try to feel out where the world is going in terms of music and in terms of the economy and everything else, and just try to make sure there's still a space for me in it, And then I've been pretty discouraged with, the kind of collective awareness. Like we were talking about the thing in Colorado, or we're talking about voter suppression because today was a primary and today was then there's another primary in the 11th, and we're talking about the Trump made a visit to Walter Reed and then the cognitive test and everything like that, and there's so many people in the world, like things are crumbling all around us, and there's so many people that do not seem to be aware or care. And my goal is always, I mean, when you think about all the things that have happened in the past 4 years, it's easy to look at and be like, well, why have we not all taken to the streets? You know? And so I kind of look at it in terms of what can I do to help raise awareness? Again, coming back to the show has been great for that. Social media has been great for that, especially while we're all stuck at home. You know, I those of you who know me for a long time know I've quite often gotten involved offline, so to speak. But it boggles my mind when I hear like the day's news stories, and I'm like, okay, but people are just complacent with this. And I really I want to do everything within my power to help raise awareness for how fucked we are, I guess is the non-church appropriate way to put that. I'm going to throw some of these questions up here while Michael, you want to go first? Or you want me to go? You want me to go first here?
Go first about what?
I just threw a question up from Terrell.
I'm sorry, man. My mind's all over the place. I'm.
Well, did you want to follow?
Man, it goes like this for me.
Did you want to follow up with something I said?
No, I think you're on point, man. I mean, it's funny because I was thinking about this just a couple days ago. Just our people are dying every day, and the news cycle at this point, the news cycle is just like, give us a big one and then we'll kick in, and that's what I'm beginning to realize is that I don't have any conspiracy theories about like, the media or the fake news and all that. But I am seeing that they don't really act on stuff until it's good for their agenda. Like they kind of stay quiet and lay in the weeds, until it's advantageous to them to pick up the story. And I other than the fact that it frustrates and angers me, I don't have anything else really to say about it except it's just what outlet can be trusted. What outlet can be relied upon? Are there any?
Are there any? Right.
Do we need to be building our own? I mean, I guess it's a rhetorical question, but
necessary question. So he who controls, what is the saying? He who controls essentially the narrative controls essentially everything. You can control the story, then you can affect the audience.
Sure. But there's just so many different people with their own, hustle. It's hard to know who to trust. I mean, I don't know that anybody, who can you trust?
I mean, are you talking specifically in terms of news and media outlets or just in general?
CNN, MSNBC.
So, I mean, just
need to bring up Fox. We know about.
Yeah. Well, my personal opinion, and this is just my personal opinion, is I don't think cable news is worth anything, specifically because they have 24 hours to fill. So I don't think it's that not enough, and they're worried about ratings. And so even the ones that I feel like have the intention of really reporting the news, which, everybody but Fox and OAN, I suppose, it gets filled up with a lot of junk. But I still, and you guys can yell at me if this is me talking out of privilege or whiteness or else something else like this. I still have a lot of trust. You will, and Tiffany will for sure, and then Nia will later. Or maybe on the air. We've never had her before, so who knows? I still have a lot of faith in NPR and BBC and what was that? Whose airplane is that?
That could be anybody's. Get back to your point, man.
Okay.
Focus.
I still have a lot of trust in certain outlets. NPR, BBC is one. And then other than that, I tend to look for the same stories. Well, Associated Press is another good one, I think. But then, like, if something comes up on the Washington Post, which I generally feel like I have pretty good feelings about, but they're still, they're still print media. So then I'll go and see, okay, well, what is the New York Times saying? Are they something similar? Can I find the story? Anytime something comes up that I'm questionable about, I always look and see. I Google it and I look and see how it's being written on multiple different sources that are not like not Breitbart and that sort of thing, or Occupy Democrats even, or but the considered safe sources. What are they all saying? And then if you haven't seen it before, I'll send you. There's a thing called there's like a media bias study that has every major news outlet on a chart in terms of how accurate it is and how biased it is. And there's the different axes, and they've got everybody on there, and they've done a lot of pretty thorough research. Of course, the problem with both of that, with looking at things both ways that I do, is that it still has to make the news to make it to any of those. Even if you have an outlet you can trust, or you look at it from multiple sources until you have a good feeling for it, or a good impression of it, it still has to make the news. And the unfortunate thing is a lot of stuff doesn't. Or what I have found, and like, so because I have my algorithms on searches and news and even on Facebook tends to bring me the kind of stuff I'm interested in. So when I think it was Ahmaud Arbery first happened back in like February, I heard about it. I shared the story on whatever local news site it was, and nobody else really cared about it then. And then when it came back again in March or April or whatever it was, that their video came out, now suddenly everybody's picked it up because there's video. But it wasn't that the news didn't report it, and I don't even think it wasn't that they didn't report it accurately. I think that, because I remember being outraged when I read it the first time, and I don't think it was one of those things where they tried to play it off like they did with George Floyd in the first press release. But nobody cared until there was video. And so I don't think necessarily it's the media's fault that people aren't sharing the stuff that's important until it grabs their attention the right way.
Kind of yeah, kind of no. Because there are stories, and I know Tiffany can attest to it, just even like LA, there are horrific stories of people being killed by law enforcement even, or just other incidents like that never get outside of LA.
Yeah.
And so it's not a matter of people not caring, but it didn't happen in my neighborhood, so it didn't grow beyond that point.
Yeah.
And so I just
speaks to that familiarity.
Right. And so that I think plays a lot more into it rather than it just being a matter of nobody caring.
Okay. I hear that.
And it not necessarily in the same vein as Ahmaud Arbery, but and I can't think of her name right now. It's BiRTHDAY.
Mitrice Richardson.
Mitrice Richardson. Thank you. That story there. I was talking to a friend of mine who is from the Midwest and who lives here now, and I was telling her about this story in reference to the LA Sheriff's Department.
Uh-oh.
She had no idea what I was talking about.
Here she
She'd
comes.
never heard of it.
Hello.
And that was a huge story.
So just, can y'all see, did it work? I tried to put the chart on the screen.
I can see it. Yeah, I've seen it before, but I see it.
Okay. So
it's just I don't attribute it so much to a lack of interest from people as much of some stuff just doesn't get past a certain region.
Sure. Some stories are colloquial, I get it.
Nia left.
I don't know if she's coming back or not. I didn't say anybody had to stay for any length of time.
Is she gonna come behind you and like something like horror movie-ish? That'd be really cool.
Well, now you got to
paranoid.
That would be in the state. I don't know. So what does it take?
Turn the beans off. I gotta go get the beans.
What does it take so that like when you talk about a story that only reaches LA, like the Ahmaud Arbery one only was really in Georgia, I think, and then it got, what is the factor for something to become being a regional story versus a national story if it's not how many people are interested in it?
Outrage, severity, exposure. How heinous is it? Or is it just another one of those things that happens? So
yeah, you can come back.
Are you familiar with My Treese Richardson, the story that I'm referencing?
No.
I am not.
Oh wow. Okay.
See,
And,
exactly.
yeah, that
So
was really big.
this young lady,
She's on your shirt, Dan, that you have.
So
okay.
And fill in the gaps for me. You know, we got tag team this one too.
I got you.
So this young lady, and this happened 2009?
8 or 9. I'm about to look up some details.
Yeah,
But go for it.
Young lady went to Malibu to a restaurant to eat.
Oh, I do know this one. Yes, I have heard this one.
Was reportedly acting erratically. And was leaving. It was nighttime. She
didn't pay her bill or something.
Didn't pay her bill. Police were called, picked her up, dropped her somewhere. No, she was taken to the police station and released in the middle of the night. No one was called to pick her up. Didn't know where she was going. They just let her go. And she went missing. Nobody ever heard from her again.
Oh.
2009. And it was a huge story here because now you have a missing person. You have a missing, at the time, 24-year-old Black woman in Malibu, all things considered, and who was taken by the police. It seemed more like a kidnapping than an arrest situation. Yeah. And then to be released in the middle of the night without any provisions. Also, some of her clothing was found, and other effects of hers were found. And the police, the Malibu Sheriff's Department, Malibu Police Department, LA County Sheriffs, really played it tight to the vest. They didn't want to release information. They were very apologetic for their officers for, you know, whatever. But they never really took accountability. They never took accountability. And up until this point, has her body even been found, Maya?
They did find her body.
They did find her remains.
But there was the play up of, she had mental illness.
Yeah.
She had a history of being erratic. We don't know. She could have, was she on drugs? Was there all these all these stories coming out after? Yeah. Again, point being, y'all picked her up. She was last seen alive at the police station when y'all let her go in the middle of the night without ensuring that she had a safe way home, since you took her from the restaurant where whatever vehicle she had was.
And Malibu is not close to Los Angeles. It's in the county, but it's not easy terrain to really navigate, especially up in the hills where that police department, I believe, was located. So in the middle of the night, very pitch black, very dark, very precarious, dangerous for anyone to try and traverse, let alone someone who is potentially suffering from an episode. Why would you release her if she was episodic? You know, it's very Sandra Blandy, you know?
Yeah.
Blandy, not to say Blandy. It's very, very akin to Sandra Bland and what happened with her, and taking her as well. And then suicide is the cause of her death, you know? So.
Wow.
But back to your question, Dan, like what, and Maya answered it very well. It really, there's this amalgamation of reasons why something goes viral. I mean, we can look at social media trends and analyze how something gets picked up and why other things are passed over. But I think just human interest stories, for them to go globally, for there to be outrage. Now you need kind of a latching on of certain influential people. Maybe it's an organization like BLM that becomes interested, or maybe it's a celebrity. We have all these celebrities calling for the prosecution of Breonna Taylor's officers or murderers. Those same celebrities didn't do that for, insert victim of police violence here. So why? It's some become trendy and people want to associate themselves with movements. And so if it has steam, then more people seem to just gather on, or just, jump onto that train. If it's more regional, more localized, then it fades.
So Brandy made a really good point about similar, and I've heard similar stories even here in the States with indigenous populations that largely ignored. Very high rates of missing children, women, abuse that never gets reported or accurately investigated, prosecuted, any of that. So that happens here too. And it's horrible.
For sure.
And that's a good segue to next week's episode, right, Michael?
Oh yeah.
You want to just? I mean, we got plenty of time left, but do you want to just give us a little bit of a preview of what we're going to be talking about next week?
Well, I mean, I don't have it all, but I mean, I definitely, my friend Gabriel is coming on, and we're going to discuss, what the Native Americans need right now. I mean, other than the obvious, like water, like clean water. They need, they need. I mean, some of these things are starting to have an impact. You're seeing some societal change. I mean, with like the names of the teams and whatnot, but it's deeper than that. A lot of the ceremonies they use, people use in their tailgate parties. Like just a lot of things, a lot of ways in which they're suffering. And I don't want to, I want Gabriel to be able to speak for his people. But
not to do another hard, abrupt change of topics, but I know I've talked before about our friendship and how you and I met from my perspective, but you've never actually told your side of the story. And Diane just asked how we met. So, I all I remember is something to the effect in my mind. I think I saw your name, or I saw you playing with Darnell and them. Maybe I saw a clip or something, and I saw that you played guitar. But then I saw some clip you put of you playing Hammond up, and I asked Gregory Washington. I asked Jabot. I said, "You know this dude dance with?" Oh yeah. He run with the Darnell and them, man. Yeah. He's already yeah. That's your Jabot impression.
Kinda. Oh man, yeah, man. He can play. Yeah, he's hung around us long enough to know what which notes to put in, which ones to take out. I said, all right, and then I don't remember if I got in touch with you on Facebook first or you got at me, but somehow I took an interest in your musicianship, and we just figured out we had more in common than just music.
So not to be abrupt again, Nia put a comment in here, and I just want her to know if she wants to ask us questions, she can come back on the screen.
That's between you and the Queen.
If she wants to ask questions, she can come back on the screen. So yeah, and I mean, from my side of things, again, I used to go sit and watch Michael play at bunkers for years before we were social media friends. Yeah. And we exchanged words. Man, love your playing. But I mean, how many?
Yeah, I don't even remember that.
Well, why would you? How many people come up to you every night? And I don't mean just you because you're great, but just musicians in general. Like, even if you're a terrible musician, people come up to you after every show, like, "Oh man, that was so fantastic. That was great." Yeah,
you're right.
So you'd have no reason to remember that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, again, we through completely divergent paths, we connected via social media, and then realized we had a great deal of interest in common besides just music. And then I think everybody knows the story of how Tiffany and I met, because we talked about that on her episode and earlier. And then everybody who watches the show knows that we met Maya through the show. So I think that question has been answered for everybody, even though.
And I've known Maya since college, and that is my girl, and I love her. I stan her. I am her fan. She is wonderful. I can't speak. I would have worn her shirt if I could have, but it's your birthday. So I was like, I'm gonna wear your shirt. But after the show, I'm gonna change back into her shirt. And I love Maya with all of my whole heart. And I'm so proud of everything she does with Be a Possibility. So that's how you know Maya, because Maya is the bomb.
I will say this too. Maya has been such an asset to Michael and myself. Maya is one of the people that I talk to just when I want to bounce something off of somebody, and it doesn't necessarily I know it's somebody that's going to be supportive but honest and no judgment, and just Maya's a great person to talk to give you a good perspective, because she's done a little bit of everything, is my understanding. She's a corporate superstar and she's got her own. Why are you?
Because I'm uncomfortable right now. Yeah, I don't just
so.
It's your birthday.
So any number of things that we've done, and I know this probably looks easy to people who just log into Facebook and see Michael and I talking on Facebook Live and think that's all it is. But there's actually a lot of work behind the scenes that goes into finding and getting good guests, preparing what we're going to talk about, and promotion and things of that nature. And plus, we're up on the different podcasting platforms and stuff like that. And so there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff into something that looks easy. And Maya has been a huge asset. So Terrell, I'd put your question back up there. So because he asked why we took the question down. It's because we went a different direction, but I thought it was a great question.
Okay, before we jump off of that, can I just say thank you to all of you? You're all amazing and you're embarrassing me. But you guys have the greatest fans on this show. So shout out to Jessie, who is sauce, and who absolutely, she's fabulous, and we've gotten to know each other a bit. And so, y'all have the greatest fans. So I'm appreciative for being included in this, fun fest.
Yeah, Justin too.
Jessie painted this rock for me and sent it to me in the mail.
Aww. Nice.
She sent me this. She also sent me this.
Wow.
And this.
Aww.
So Jessie would have gotten my agate joke yesterday, Tiffany.
Okay.
Even though I didn't get any love for that joke, but clearly Jessie would have gotten it.
Still don't know what's happening, but I'm gonna go with it.
That was funny, and the fact that you didn't get that joke, or either you did get it and you just didn't give me any credit.
Didn't get it and moved away from it because I didn't know what was happening.
No.
So
I said I don't know how to. I said I don't know how to use aggregate in a sentence correctly. It is a word that troubles me. I understand it, but it is difficult for me when I try to put it into sentence form. And Dan decided to use that as his own personal showtime at the Apollo. And he just decided that he was going to launch joke after joke. And I still don't know what he was saying, but it was funny.
Hold on a second. I'll find it because it was funny and I think I deserve the credit.
Nia is saying, let it go.
Oh, Nia hates how I wear the joke into the ground, but I can't help
Justin,
it.
But I meant Jeremy Tapero. Love me some Jeremy.
Oh. Michael,
Jeremy.
Michael, tell the viewers about Jeremy for those who don't know.
Oh man. Well, first off, he's just a stellar cat. I mean, I got on with JT right away. Really, I knew I liked him, but when we first met, he has a very sort of unassuming demeanor. Like you really don't know what's going on in his head for a while, and until we really got to sit down and kind of, bond. But now he's one of my best friends and one of my favorite cats to work with. He's stellar musician, stellar engineer. He's producing, I wish I could remember the name of the project he's producing right now. But if you go to Jeremy Tapero's Facebook page, I'm sure he's got it up. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's currently producing a record that's getting ready to come out sometime in the near distant future, I guess I always say. But yeah, Jeremy Tapero, the bomb.
The bomb, and he has great hair.
Yep, he swings it all around on stage with Soul Asylum.
I first met Jeremy at the Soul Asylum gig that I hung out at with Eric, and then he engineered one of the sessions we did, right, Michael?
Yeah, when we were recording the songs I was writing with Gabriel. Next week.
I didn't realize that was the same person until we'd been at the studio for a while. Like I was just like, oh, another cool person. Like I didn't, because when we were doing the Soul Asylum gig was outside and it was dark and
Sure.
I was talking to him, but I wasn't, and when I finally put two and together, I'm like, that's the same dude. Oh, so Michael, the engineer, is also the bass player, and
Yeah. I mean, he and Winston, they tag team. I mean, since JT's local, he's and also Winston had a medical situation like the last tour that we were out on. So JT came out and covered and fit right in. He kept right on moving. He's one of us.
So real quick, this was the picture I posted on Tiffany's status, and Stephanie got my joke. So I feel like the joke gets some credit, but that's an agate, and so it was a play on pronunciation.
Agate?
Yeah. I said, isn't that one of these? And I posted a picture. I thought it was a really good joke, but I knew hardly anybody would get it. But I thought Tiffany would because she's smart and worldly.
One, me not getting it does not mean I am not still smart. Okay, that's a very nuanced joke. Two, I feel like it was inappropriate.
I think you need to move on. You need to answer the question because Nia's getting testy in the comments, and I feel like you need to watch your back.
The queen is making a vibration.
Let me go look.
Okay, Michael, what is your favorite song you've recorded? I'm assuming he's asking two different things. What's your favorite song you've recorded, and what's your favorite song you played live?
It doesn't have to necessarily be, but wow. I mean, I guess I could take the bait and just say something like "Shh" off the Gold Experience record because it kind of was it was not necessarily my favorite, but I feel like it was just one of those arrangements where Prince just went, "Come on, man, just do some stuff," and it just kind of all fell into place, and it became kind of my second calling card after Diamonds and Pearls, really. So I always felt a sense of satisfaction playing it.
Wait. You played on the original Diamonds and Pearls?
Yes, that was him. It's in every promotion of this fucking show, Tiffany. That's him in the original at 19 years old. In every promotion of the show, I say that.
I'm always captivated by your videos. I don't necessarily read further down, Dan. Okay? I get captivated by your lovely face. Michael Bland, that's my favorite Prince song of all time.
Really?
Yes.
How did you not know that?
I don't know.
Okay. She ain't got to know all that. That's
Thank you.
Okay. So tell the Diamonds and Pearls story for Tiffany, who's been living under an agate.
Well, what story?
Okay.
We want to know how it happened.
Easy.
Yeah. To tell the story of recording it. You were 19. It's a story that bears repeating.
I suppose. I mean, actually, Sonny, who you missed earlier on, Sonny and I, we were rehearsing out at Paisley Park for a different band that Prince was putting together to back Margaret Cox, who had been known as Tamara of Tamara and the Scene. Everybody Dance was a #1 hit in 13 countries, and actually, the way I met Prince was through Margaret. He went to see Dr. Mambo's Combo at the Fine Line, and I was on a different gig across town, and he recognized Margaret from her work with Jesse on Tamara and the Scene and all that. So he, invited her into the limo, and they talked for a while, and he was like, "They're a really great band," and she said, "Yeah, you should hear our regular drummer though." He said, "Yeah," and she said, "Yeah, oh, he's this young kid, and he's really great, and he plays with us every Monday at Bunkers," and like the next week he was there. And sat in and was just kind of recklessly eyeballing my hands and then kind of looking at me, and I didn't know what to make of it. I didn't realize it was an audition, but anyway, he decided he wanted to record a record with Margaret. So, but also she was going to be the house artist every Wednesday at the Glam Slam, in downtown Minneapolis. So we were rehearsing for that. And Sonny and Tommy and I were just getting ready to leave to go downtown to have something to eat and then go to the Bunkers gig. And Prince came down and said, "Hey, do you guys have to leave right now? Because I have a song I'm trying to figure out." And we said, "No, well, we could hang out." And we pretty much, it came together in like under 15 minutes. And he was like, can we just record this now? Instead of having to. And yeah, let's do it. So we went into Studio B, and in 2 takes we had it. The only real differential was the space where I do the drumming, the majestic drumming. I left it open because I hadn't been instructed to do anything with it. And he said, that was great. This time when we do it, put something in there. Something the drummers are going to hear and be real impressed. Like, put your signature on it. Oh, okay. So, and then we immediately start the next pass. And I don't know what I'm going to do. The moment's coming. And I'm just like, I'm drawing a blank. I'm just trying to remember the arrangement. And I get there and this thing happens. And he's like, thank you, everybody. And like, we finished up. He probably cut the vocal that night. I mean, really, it was the first time Tommy and Sonny and I recorded with Prince, and they were in the band shortly after that. So he found that the cohesion and the ability to work so quickly suited him. So, I mean, that's pretty much the story. And then, Rosie came in on it, and the rest is history.
Ooh, Rosie. Oh,
ooh, Rosie. Yes.
Oh.
Have I ever sent you the video that Michael sent me, Tiffany, of Rosie singing? What jazz ballad is she singing, Michael, in that video that you showed it to me at your house?
She was singing one of hers. She's a song called "Get the Ghetto Off Your Mind" or something.
Yes,
like
that's what it was. Have I sent you that, Tiffany? Okay, later on tonight, it's in your inbox.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean,
along with 12 versions of Closer Than Close.
Thank you. Please give me more. It's been on repeat.
She was she was just so incredible.
Yeah.
As a person, just to hang out with, and just her. I mean, she come out every concert we played. She had the Holy Bible down underneath her keyboard stand, and sometimes we'd be playing, and I'd see that, and it'd be like the spirit would start moving, and it was like being in church when Prince would say, "Go ahead, Rosie, you got it." She would just take over. And
can I ask you a question, Mike?
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
No.
What were some of Prince's pre-show rituals?
Well, we always had the prayer circle,
mm-hmm.
but also sometimes I could hear him in his dressing room. He'd turn on music really loud to warm up, and he'd be hitting these incredibly high notes that he wasn't even going to be singing during the show. I'd be walking by his dressing room, hearing like really high. I'm like, wow, what is? I mean. Or he'd be stretching like Mikhail Baryshnikov before we'd be talking about the show, and he'd just grab his leg. Okay, so tonight on Take Me With You, instead of the turn on we normally do, after the second chorus, and his leg would just go. He'd pull his leg straight up, and I'd be looking like he stretched out and he warmed up like a real pro, And then we'd have the prayer circle, and then we'd go out and hit it. Be mean about it.
And what would the end of the show encompass after you guys wrapped, curtain calls down? Then what happened?
Well, I mean, for the first couple of weeks of any tour, we were still taking notes and changing the set and trying to modify, like whatever didn't go so well. It's like we were trying to figure out how we could improve. So the first couple of weeks, you go back to the hotel and shower. And wait to get called to go up to to his penthouse or his suite or whatever, and you bring your notebook and something to write with, and you watch the whole show back down.
And see, people think that Beyonce is the first person to do that because she said she does it. So there's this misnomer that Beyonce has created this environment where self-reflection is the key to her success, and it's like. It's great that she does that, but she also took notes from the greats who did that, from the Princes, from the Mikes, from the,
Come
Whitney.
back, Tiff. Sorry.
Am I there?
She does that, but what now?
Oh, do you did something happen? No, I was saying she does reflect upon her shows, and she's been vocal about that. And so, the newer generations, when they hear something, they think that it's the first time it's ever been done. And it's like, no, she took her cues from the greats as well, from the Princes, from the Michael Jacksons, from the Whitneys, the Janets. So I didn't know that. I mean, it's not illogical to think that Prince, who was it seemed to me he was a perfectionist with his art and with what he expected. So. It's not illogical to think that he would do that or expect a note exchanging session and go back, review and everything, and watch the entire show. It's nice though to have you say it because you were there.
Yeah, and that was 1990 was my first time touring with him. So we
wow.
was doing it at least, that far back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everybody's there. The front of house guy, the lighting director, the band, the dancers, everybody's piled into his hotel room and taking furious notes. And then we go to the gig the next day, go to sound check and work out the differences, the things we're going to do. And he still may throw an audible in there. Like you could never just relax and go, okay, the set's going to go like this. Because Prince don't care. Prince is going to play what he wants to play. And you just better remember the last time remember the arrangement from a week ago. And, he's perfectionist, but also always looking for, always looking for a way to refine things, even in the moment, and that's what made it a job that not a lot of people could do, because it's almost like mind reading. Mm-hmm. Like you really got to surrender to the process so much that, like, you can almost read his mind. You got to see it coming, or if you don't see it coming, you better see what he's doing way out there on the apron of the stage. Like you can hardly see him, but he's holding up his hand, going, and you better go back. You better do that.
Right.
You're gonna hear about it right after the show.
So, tell the handkerchief story.
Oh, which one? I mean, he'd drop it any time.
But just the point was that you had to watch. And what did you have to do? What did you have to do when the handkerchief hit the ground?
It depended on which time he did it.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly, but I'm telling you, what's funny is that after working for him, I couldn't be shook. Anybody, anything you want to maybe try to do, I'm already looking. That's what it really did do, is just sharpen your awareness of the moment. Because he was never satisfied with things just running the way we were talking about. There was always room for magic, for the spirit to move, something. Or, for instance, when we played Rock in Rio in 1991, the plan was to play a bunch of unreleased music for this group of people who've been waiting till 2:30 in the morning to see us. And we get out there and we're playing all these songs that were supposed to be on Diamonds and Pearls but didn't make it. And we got maybe 2 or 3 songs in. And in between songs, Prince turned around and he pointed at Levi and said, "Kiss!" And Levi, like, we just went to the hits, Like, if it ain't working, he'll figure out how to make it work, And you have to be complicit. You just got to be ready for what may come,
Did he have any superstitions?
Ooh, you mean like things that he was? You mean like conventional superstitions, like black cats,
or unconventional superstitions, and just anything that don't do this, don't do. There are a lot of rumors.
I mean, it's funny. I'll give you 2 examples. One was we always wanted to play Anastasia, and he wouldn't do it. He said, "That song gives me chills, like the wrong kind."
Mm.
Like, I think that song really was like a manifestation beyond his conscious headspace. Like, he channeled something that frightened him.
Okay.
I don't mean to get all weird and dark.
No, it's not weird nor dark.
I'm just saying we used to
dark.
One day we asked him, like, we tried to put it in the set. He let us put the set together to see what we'd come up with. And he's like, oh. And that one, and I think it was. I think also we wanted to play "If I Was Your Girlfriend," and he's like,
"Okay,
no. If I then I got to go get the pink coat. I got to get the pink fur, and I can't go back there." So he had certain reservations artistically, but I will say the one time that it really had an impact on me was sometime around when the war with Warner Brothers started. And he changes his name. And somehow I had gotten the idea that he changed his name strictly for publicity reasons, or he was trying to get out of his record deal or something. And I remember we were in Studio C. I said, Prince, and he turned around and he ice grilled me so hard. That's not my name anymore. He said, when you call me that, it's like calling me a cuss word. Don't call me that. Woo, all right, Prince. For real.
Is that Questlove's story true?
Of what?
Prince coming to a party or having an after party. It was animated for, I think, OK Player, but there was an after party for something in the 2000s, and Prince rode a bodyguard's shoulders into the party and asked the DJ, who was Questlove at the time, to stop playing whatever he was playing and to put on a DVD of Finding Nemo.
You know, I don't have any idea. I wasn't super around at that time.
Okay, Questlove tells it very well. It's animated. He says,
I did see that he had some sort of thing up, but I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
I mean, he was not the average type of person to hang out with. So I wouldn't put it past them, whatever they might say. Could have happened. You know, I know that story about Morris Hayes told me the story about Michael Jackson being at one of the Vegas shows. And said Prince stepped off the stage and right onto Michael Jackson's table. He was playing bass. He just like pretty much was like had the bass in Michael Jackson's face, like it's like, you know. And Morris said, Michael Jackson said, Prince is a meanie. That's what MJ said about Prince, for getting in his face with the bass like that.
It's a meanie.
Stepping on his table, and Prince is a meanie.
Unstable bass.
We're back.
Trademark that, Maya.
4 seconds. Brought it back around. Hit that corner real quick. Something you said about Rosie and having her Bible on the stage goes back to what Dan was trying to put on my life, and I will not accept that, evil Ricky Bobby. He said that I am destined to be a first lady. I do not accept that. I bind and rebuke that over all of my life. But the conversation that we had in regard to that was that people have a ministry that they are here to deliver, and that looks so different than what people assume ministry is supposed to look like. And so her going out there and invoking the power through whatever it was that she was doing to then deliver the message she came to deliver was her ministry, versus it needing to be, you know, ankle length dress and a prayer cloth and head covered. So that your ministry can look a lot different than what somebody thinks it's supposed to look like.
Absolutely.
And that, you know, yours is, you know, Michael, I consider you a guru of sorts, just because I'm trying to tell you what you said. Even you said it to Tiffany, but when I was on the show before and you talking about how, like you said, nobody can shake me now because of what I learned, and the ability to pivot and be ready and almost read minds working with Prince has, you know, anything else you got to deliver, anybody else being a musician, it's nothing. I've done that. And then to be able to take that and translate that into your life and how you live, and just having that attitude of, I know how to pivot. I can adjust. It's not a big deal. Like that.
Did we lose her?
Super inspiring.
Maya froze for a minute. Having the attitude of what now? Having the attitude of
nobody can mess with me because I know how to pivot. I can adjust. I got this. Like, it doesn't matter what you throw at me. I'm going to figure out how to do it well, and do it to the point where you can't even correct me on it, because I've handled this in such a way you find no flaw in what I've done. And that's not an arrogance thing. It is, I think, more so a confidence in your ability and your faith, and you having just that deeper connection to yourself and your purpose in the world. And that's awesome. But yeah, I still bind and rebuke you trying to put a first lady on me.
Well, and it's funny because I I swore Michael told me years ago that he was ordained, and he corrected me recently and said that he isn't, because I've always seen Michael as a preacher. And
chosen, but not ordained.
He's running from his calling too, Maya, because
I'm not running
he's
from
anointed,
it.
not appointed. That does not make him running from his calling. That makes him not over here in the box that you're trying to put us in. Don't do it.
That right there, that part.
See, enforcing the forcefulness of Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so this is gonna the last bit of this episode is gonna be Dan bashing. Is that what we're getting to?
Man,
that's what we were doing anyway, right?
Above everything else, Dan, what I find you to be is, I use this term for certain people in my life. You are a positive nuisance, is what you are. Everything you're doing for the right reason, and you will agitate people into doing what's in their better interest, and it's out of pure love. I recognize that.
Yeah,
I recognize that about you, man.
You are churchy.
I forgot we're supposed to be loving up on you and not.
Well, you've used that term. You've used that term before, not for me, but for a few other people that I respect. So I know that's a compliment.
That means I need you in my life.
Yeah,
because you'll say something when nobody else will.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I think everybody needs at least one person like that who's going to really push you to do the things that you don't see in yourself.
I don't mind saying, doing a show like this has been very enriching. I've met great people such as yourselves, Maya and Tiff.
Thanks.
But it's not really my style to build something and maintain it also. And every time I feel like, hey man, I think I might want to call it, Dan and conspiring with my wife go, this show is informative. There's not a whole lot going on right now anyway. What are you running from it for? You're serving the community some way, somehow. People are catching a blessing from what you guys are doing. People are getting insight. People are seeing Black people in positions they don't relate to in their own minds.
Right.
They're understanding Black excellence on a whole new level just because of this show.
And Dan.
The Apostle Dan.
I mean,
this missionary Dan.
Yeah.
Dan with the organ Dan.
No.
Dan,
no.
Organ Dan.
I won't respond. I won't respond to what Michael said. I'll let Maya or Tiffany respond to what Michael said, because I think we've also talked about this in regards to as well as in regards to the show, and in regards to Pastor Bland.
What's that now?
I said Pastor Bland.
What? Yeah. What?
Well, just at how much, even though that this is outside of your comfort zone, it's such an asset, and it's an asset because in large part of you. And I want somebody else to say it besides me, because I yell at you all the time.
No, Maya just sowed words into my spirit a minute ago.
Awesome.
So I heard what she said, and it's odd because it's really a new thing I'm stepping into, where I'm learning that the power that I can harness in one area of my life, I can apply in all.
Yeah.
I'm really in the application stage of that. Like, I'm really moving through my life with the same focus that I've given music. I'm starting to branch it out into the other quadrants of my existence. And it's only been for a few months that I've really felt like it's okay because I grew up around people who, would not encourage you to be self-aggrandizing or, just like my people are humble people. And, but I'm finding in myself that people have said for many years, like, it's not bragging if you can back it up, but bragging is nothing. It's coming from a confident place, knowing what you can do and believing in that. Mm-hmm. Again, my friend Gabriel said to me, I was trying to pray for somebody I was in contention with, but I had kind of let go of the energy after I said the prayer. I'm like, well, whatever happens now happens. And he said to me, why would you bother praying if you're not going to follow that energy up and in and through the universe into that person that you're praying for? You got to believe something is going to happen. You can't just put it out there and let it go. You got to believe that that person is receiving what you're sending out. Like, it takes that. Well, otherwise, why bother? Why just put random energy into the universe? Believe what you're praying.
So one of the things I've always taught in my capacity as a minister or a teacher or anything like that is that prayer is for you, because and you, a lot of Bible scholars will contradict me, and maybe they're right. I don't know. We'll find out in the afterlife. But I don't believe that there are a whole lot of examples where God changes his mind because of us. God changes you. So when you're praying for something, you're praying that God changes you for the thing, because what's going to happen is almost always already set in place. I mean, one of my pastor friends gave me some examples where God specifically was petitioned in the Bible and did change the outcome because of the prayers. But most of the time when you pray, it's not, the outcome's already predetermined, but you need to change your mindset and your perspective. And prayer is really about getting yourself in the right mindset for what's coming. It's about, and so that's what I always teach. When you pray, it's for you. And I used to refuse to pray over small stuff because I didn't want to waste God's time. And at one point I had the revelation of like, why would God care why would he think it's wasting his time when I'm seeking him? But seeking God over anything is what he wants. But so I used to not do stuff like pray like I can't find my car keys. But now I do that. Now I do that kind of stuff all the time. But it's not, God's not moving my car keys. God's giving me the peace of mind so that I can realize where the keys are, you know? And the same thing that's true over little small examples is true over big examples. So sometimes even when you're praying for somebody else, sometimes the purpose of that is to put in you either what you can do or just what needs to be put into the atmosphere, you know? And so as Gabriel pointed out, and it's great that we're going to be talking to him soon, if you don't believe what you're praying, then really the prayer didn't really serve the purpose that it's intended for.
That's right. I agree. And I'd say the same thing about apologies, about apologizing to be like, that is about you. It's about you. It's not really about the person you're apologizing to. You're bringing peace to yourself through the process, you know. And I've learned that several times over, and the it's made me a lot less reticent about apologizing as an adult. You know, I feel like any reason I need to apologize, I will, because I mean, not just for selfish reasons, but because I know how it's going to affect my life, you know?
So there's, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No.
There's somebody.
Dan, though, real quick, before you jump off of your last one, what's your definition of prayer?
That's a deep question. I think if you want the simplest answer, like breaking it down to the simplest thing, it's just talking to God. I think prayer is just a conversation that you have with however you see God, because I'm ordained in the Christian church, so I have certain preconceptions about God based on my religion and the Bible. But I love the movie Dogma, where God is Alanis Morissette in boxer shorts. We really have no idea what to expect when we get to the afterlife. So however you perceive, God or supreme being or whatever, God by any name, we'll just say that much, is just the conversation that you have, or with ancestors, or with, again, whatever your spiritual relationship is. I would just simplify it as that.
I don't think it's much different than, one of my very good friends, Winter Jones, he's a Buddhist. When he's chanting for the same things I'm praying for, you know? And I think it's just as important. He is pouring himself in when he's chanting, he is reaching out, he's extending his spirit, you know, and he's expecting change. I believe they call it actual proof. At least his sect of Buddhism. They are praying for actual proof. I mean, what are we praying for? We're looking for evidence after we pray. You know, we're expecting it. If that's what we believe of God. So it's I guess it's not so strange. I'm surrounded by people all the time who have different faiths or no faith, or so I've learned to be very open-minded about just how people function, what works for them. I can only speak for myself that I know that Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. That is I cannot be talked out of my experience. That is my experience. I've seen how I have sensed and felt and seen God work in my life. So I can't, I maybe a lot of other people haven't, but I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm saying exactly at this point.
You're not reaching for the whiskey during the spiritual discussion, Tiffany?
No.
That's all right. Drink them spirits. It's all right.
That was birthday shot. That's it.
Have some
Birthday
communion.
shot.
No.
I did want to say something about what Michael was talking about when it comes to apologies. There's a friend of mine who I would love to have on the show down the road at some point, who is another just she's the corporate America version of Tiffany, basically. Just another like super pro-black excellence, just amazing person. Why? What? What does
that mean? What do you mean by that?
Corporate version.
Yeah. What's the corporate?
She's a VP.
What am I?
She's a VP at some like Fortune 500 company. Like she's real high up the corporate ladder and very says all the right corporate things. Which I know you know how to do, but that's not who you are.
Okay.
What are the right corporate things, Dan?
What'd you say?
What are the right corporate things?
Can I just get to my story?
No.
And then we'll circle back to that. It's the words that my wife says, like crucial conversations and all that kind of stuff. That I don't have any.
Listen, I plan courageous conversations and jazz at work.
I know.
Yes,
I know you do. So anyhow,
that's why I'm cheating. That's why I asked. I'm cheating.
Okay, I'll shout out my friend. Her page is her like page for her as a like a performer, whatever. Is Shelly Says So. Her name is Shelly Washington, but she posted something on Facebook a few weeks ago or days ago, whatever it was. Basically, someone came up to her in public and basically said that she'd been, that she'd been holding a grudge against her for years. And she had no idea. Like, she had no idea that this person had any issue with her. The grudge existed solely in that person's head.
Right.
And when you hold on to stuff, this is what I was talking about with apologizing. When you hold on to stuff, half the time the other person has no idea that you're even holding on to it. So it's only hurting you.
Yeah.
Right.
And and I'm trying really hard to like, I have two ways about me. Either I forget that we had a conflict by tomorrow and like everything's back to the way it was and I literally don't even remember, or like I'll never speak to you again. I only have those two things, and I'm trying to negotiate more of a middle ground with myself where I can remember, okay, watch out for this person because they do this, but not allow it to affect me in any sort of negative way.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly in what way I can add to that. But yeah, forgiveness is definitely it's a balm for your soul. It really is. It's for the person being forgiven, but the person who forgives. It really like I've been making it my business for the last couple of years to mend every bridge that I can. And I don't, not that I'm planning to die anytime in the near future, but I decided at some point that I don't want to leave this planet condemning it. I want to leave this planet blessing it. And so I've just been slowly but surely working down not a sizable list, but different people I've gotten in contact with, and I've been trying to squash it all because I just don't want to live like that. I just don't want it. I don't want to have these. I don't want anything to impede my sleep at night. I don't like that idea. And I have enough love in me that I believe it's possible.
So here's my question, and this is not necessarily a rhetorical question, and it's for really anyone here, because these are all people that are in my hive mind, even off the air, you know. So there are some people that I don't want to say I hold a grudge against, but there's some people that I avoid, or I don't want to speak to, or I don't particularly, you know, want them around, that for example, owe me substantial sums of money and have no intention on.
Yeah.
And I have gotten to a point where, you know, I've at this point, I think I've taken everybody to court that I'm going to. I don't think, and hopefully they're not watching and they'll be like, okay, good. But I don't think, I mean, I think I've more or less forgiven the debts that are still outstanding. But I also don't feel like it would be the right thing to do to reach out to them and say, hey, we're cool. Because, hey, there's the cat. Show Tiffany the cat. Tiffany wants to see the cat.
The cat just walked out the room.
So
listening to you.
So what, I mean, because I like your approach, Michael, of saying, you know, especially after with all of the things that have happened in 2020 that have made all of us realize our own mortality. I like the idea of squashing it, things that are outstanding, but at the same time, when in situations like that where, you know, the only thing that's outstanding is that they, you know, are not doing what they're supposed to do. I don't really know if I should say or do anything, and if so, how to proceed.
Would it bring you peace to let them know? Because in the past, I have had people who I no longer deal with.
Did you hear what Maya said?
Yeah, I mean, that's the question. Does it bring you peace? Would it bring you peace, or do you think it would bring you peace to notify them and say? So I had a friend who we were very close, and it just did not work out, and it was bothering me that I did not let them know why we were no longer close anymore. And so essentially, I called him up and was like, "Hey, I'm not trying to rekindle anything. Here's why I don't F with you no more. I just wanted you to know that in the event that something happens to me, I don't ever want you to wonder why. This is it. Be blessed.
All right.
Never talk to him again." And I did that for me because I did not want it to be a matter of, dang, maybe they don't know. It made us seem weird, whatever, which I'm sure was still a conversation happening between Maya and the people in Maya's head. That person was not worried about it. But after that phone call, it was like, cool. I'm good with it. Whatever happens, happens.
It's a release.
And you don't necessarily have to rekindle or act like, oh, now we're homies again, but just the understanding. And I used to think that it was all right to just, let people just let them go and just let them be in the lurch. And I just cut off contact, and I wouldn't, reach out. They'd be reaching out, and I'd just be up. I don't want to talk to this person, but my friend Gabriel also made me realize, he said, well, wait a minute. He said, what you're doing to that person is you're causing them to take that energy and expel it onto somebody else. It's like you need to break the cycle. You need to break the cycle with them so that at least they understand why you've been doing what you're doing. It's not fair. Like you need to inform them so that they have a proper understanding of why you have placed them in exile. And so that really, that also spurred me on to I need to resolve any and all conflicts for the betterment of me. So don't think of it that way, Dan. Don't think of it as you're doing something for them. Think of it as you're doing something for you.
I mean, I guess the part where I still struggle with it is I generally don't think about these people. Like when Maya asked if it would bring me peace, it probably wouldn't change anything for me because I've made peace with the situations and I don't tend to think about it until somebody brings it up. And if somebody, and once it comes up in conversation, I'm like, oh yeah, that person, that person did this, or that person owes me this much money, or that person did this thing. And, but it's not taking up real estate in my head. You know what I mean? And it's so.
Okay, but as far as money goes, man, you either got to just come hard or let it go. That's
Yeah.
That's it.
That,
You know, me, it's like friend or not. If it's a situation about money, if it's business, you know, I'm going to take it as far as I can go before I feel like that money is too hard to come by. You know,
I mean,
I have to. Go ahead.
I mean, there are plenty of I'm in the music industry. I've been shafted monetarily more times than you could count. The times when it became something where I took it personally, at least at some point, is when it was somebody that I really had a lot invested in, you know, personally or professionally or both. You know, people that I really was close to. You know, that's the thing for me. And again, I get to a place where they don't where I have peace with it, but I don't deal with them anymore. You know. And like you said, it's you know, and I'm sure they know why I don't reach out to them anymore because they know what the situation is, but also they're not reaching out to me either. It's not like they're being like, hey, why aren't you, you know, no, I've tried to call you a whole bunch of times to rectify whatever the situation was, whether it was money or work related or whatever it was. I did my part to reach out. When you didn't follow through, that's when I cut ties. But
you know what though, it's as you, and I'm not insinuating that you're not a mature person, Dan, but as you move on in life, you have to decide what kind of person you're going to be, because you're either going to let, you know, little conflicts steal your joy, or you can just keep moving forward. I mean, for me, it's always better for me if I know who I'm dealing with. And I don't run from somebody who I figured out just as I figured them out. Like once I've figured out where I got to hold them in love, you know, what distance I need to place between me and them, it makes everything very simple for me. Like everybody ain't got to be your best friend. I know people I make music with that I don't speak to socially.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm very, I got a lot of boundaries about things. It makes me kind of legalistic and stiff and difficult for some types of people to deal with. But a lot of those people are people who don't have healthy boundaries. So I'm doing myself a favor by saying, this is where I'm coming from. And also being an acting example of that, because I found that the more I stand in my truth, the more the people I don't need clear the room.
That's been the case for me as well. That's a very good point. Is like you said, people will remove themselves, and
the harder you go for you, I mean, it's just like that post that I shared the other day. That nobody watches what you do harder than your haters. You know, so it's a strange thing. Relationships are odd, man. I think that I don't know why every conversation leads back to you got to know who you are. A lot of people don't know who they are. I know who I am, and this entire music community knows who I am, not as a musician, but as like, what is my perspective? What is my viewpoint? And you know, as you well know from speaking to some of these people, my situation is too hot for a lot of people. Like they can't really get to where I'm at because they ain't been where I've been. Like I play music and it's my life ministry and so on and so forth, and it's fun, but this is serious to me. You know, this is I don't music has been my salvation, and in every other way that God has not. You know, between God and music, there's not a whole lot else in the world that I you know I aspire to or work on. In terms of my refinement in my relationship to music and God is a reflection of my relationship with myself. If that makes any sense at all.
Absolutely.
It just intensifies where I'm at and makes so very clear to me. Like, okay, no, you go with God. I can see right now that you're in a different place in your life, and for me, I'm looking for people who operate on my level and want what I want. And, that's, a lot of these people who have spoken, everybody's entitled to their opinion, Dan. I mean, they can think what they want. But the bottom line is, I don't really care because I know who I am, and I know what I'm doing this for,
It's funny because it made me think back to the story I told, I think it was 2 episodes ago, about when I was first introduced to you. And I was at that, that musicians gathering that Brandon Commodore had hosted, and people were describing Michael Bland. And they were like, yeah, he's, first of all, he's got the biggest sound you've ever seen. Like, this is a big dude, but his sound sounds bigger than he looks. But then second of all, like, he hears everything. And if you miss even the slightest thing, he'll hear it and he'll tell you, and he won't be shy about it, And that was one of the things that made me go and seek out, like, I want to see this dude. I want to see if they're telling the truth, And I specifically sought you out based on those stories, which, by the way, are correct. I have seen you take down other musicians on stage if necessary, and you're never wrong, especially when it comes to music. But really about just about anything that you're vocal about, very rarely wrong. But that comes from, this kind of the same thing that I talk about in terms of myself when I try to speak on subjects. I try very hard not to open my mouth unless I'm sure that I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. See, that's the problem with being sure. Most of the time, like in music, there's almost never any equivocation for me. So it's as clear as reading words, the tones and the shapes and the colors, and what works and what doesn't work. So for people who have only a vague sense, we're not going to be a good match. Like if you're in everybody has room to grow. The ways in which I'm growing are the ways in which I express myself in moments like that. I have since realized and regret some of those times because it's in the moment. All you're thinking about is the music and how much disrespect it's being shown. But the reality is that a lot of those people, they left that experience hostile, upset, confused, frustrated, because all they got from it was, this big black dude is yelling at me. They don't even know what they did wrong, which is why I've narrowed, I've softened my way of expressing myself in that regard. But I've also learned to just let people, I have an experience with them musically, and either it's working or it's not. And instead of trying to convince them or trying to get them, I just have more respect for everybody's individual journey, I guess, now. But I want to hear all that on any stage that I'm playing on, but I've become even more fastidious about who I'll make music with.
Even just the few sessions that we've done together, you've taught me to listen for things that nobody taught me to listen for before, and I've done records before. It wasn't like I'm a virgin to doing records, but certain things to listen for that nobody had ever said before. Hey, listen for this. And then also I've been in your presence enough that there's certain things I learned to listen for by watching you listen for them, and because especially in the past, however many years it's been since Pro Tools. I don't know how long that's been. What Pro Tools been, like 20 years now?
Probably. Yeah.
Like since kind of the playing field kind of got leveled in terms of who's a session musician and who's an engineer and who's a producer. Now that everybody can do it with a laptop, there's a whole lot of just like of records that are making it into stores and making it on the charts that have a whole lot of like, oh, that'll be fine. We'll work with, just do something. Okay, good. Now moving on. And not really giving certain things the attention to detail that they deserve. And that's one of the things that I've learned just from, again, I think it's been probably 4 or 5 years that you and I have done little small projects here and there. And just in those little instances, I've learned to listen for things that, that nobody had ever brought to my attention before.
Well, I mean, you got to consider a couple of things, Dan. First off, I entered this business and worked with and learned from the best. Mm. So all of that information that I got directly out of Prince's mouth into my ear is living and breathing every time I pick up a pair of drumsticks. It's and a lot of it has to do with really it's almost all of it has to do with listening. He was the one who told me, be more interested in what your neighbor's playing than what you are. Like, don't get so caught up in the technical aspect of what you're doing that all of this is going on around you. You have to pay attention.
Can I jump in real quick, Mike? That makes
Absolutely.
I've been listening this entire time, and one of the things that is swirling around in my head relates to that inner voice and listening more than you play. Well, not just listening more than you play, but listening to the correct voice, right? So the correct message. So we've talked about prayer. We've talked about kind of the intention behind talking to God, whether it's to request or just to develop and maintain and develop a relationship. But ultimately, another tool that we are given through him is that inner voice of discernment. And if we are listening too much to doubt or to confusing or conflicting thoughts in our own minds, then we are giving power to, that negative energy, that negative spiritual warfare that many of us are that many of us can become accustomed to because of many reasons. So I think doubt is a huge tool of the enemy. And we often doubt, obviously, what the result might be. We're too focused on the result, and we're not necessarily focused on the process by which we achieve that result. And so I guess I've been thinking about it this entire time because, Dan, your question was, or not your question, one of the things that you've been grappling with is essentially, should you confront these people? And it's like the confusion in your mind that is causing you to question your strategy and your reasoning is giving you more grief than you deserve. And the release of all of that, the confusion, the onus to confront someone, what you may feel they're owed, just complicates your ability to take care of you, and to do it for yourself or for anyone who's in that situation. So, Mike, when you just said that, about like haters and whatnot, haters listen to you and pay more attention to you than anyone. We have our own inner hater, we have that side of us, again, that is very conflicting and contrarian. And so we have to be careful not to give that energy either.
That energy, and that energy don't sleep.
It doesn't.
And what it really hates is when you learn how to quiet your mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when you quiet your mind, everything becomes clear.
And that's a part of knowing yourself,
Right. I guess we really are. You really found the common thread through all of this we've been talking about. I kept wondering, like, where is this going? Because it's almost like we're operating a Ouija board with y'all. It's just, I guess when you put all these energies together.
Well, Tiffany's got the lights behind her like she's having a seance. So the Ouija board isn't necessarily, it's gorgeous, by the way, but I've been just,
I don't want to get up and turn the lights on. It's
a hot look.
Starting to get dark.
All right. But yeah, so I guess to just to sum up what we were saying, Dan, I had the potential, but I didn't know really what was in me until Prince began to point it out. And he was a person who, if there was a sliver of doubt in the studio working, like he trusted himself implicitly. But if he ran into like a gray patch or an area of confusion, he would just go a different way. He would shut down. He'd either work on a different let's just leave this for now. Put a pin in that. And he'd just change directions. We'd start working on a different song. We'd start, it's just like doubt is a killer.
Is that how, not to take this into a less serious tangent, but is that how much so much stuff ended up in the vault?
Could be, because there's a lot of different versions of those songs in the vault. I mean, that's what I tried to explain to what's his name, Mobeen Azar from the BBC. He did a special on what's in the vault, and he kept asking me, like, "Well, what do you think's in there?" I can tell you what's in there. Other versions of Little Red Corvette, full track versions of When Doves Cry that sound like a mess if you put them up. Like, you have to understand the process and the presentation of material. Once you got, I mean, you can have, most of a song is the words anyway. And Prince was a better than average lyricist. He had a very particular viewpoint as a lyricist. But he still worked very hard to perfect that. His hairdresser would say she had the hot comb, and Prince would be writing his lyrics, and he'd get so mad he'd stand up out of nowhere and just start cussing if a line didn't come to him, and she'd have to take all the tools and be like, "Oh Lord, I'm gonna burn Prince," you know, and to get him away from his head. But the fight for excellence is hard for everybody. Just because you got natural ability don't mean nothing.
Right.
Light can be, Morris Hayes said, bland, light can be all around the room, but until you focus it into a laser, you ain't cutting nothing.
Ooh.
I said, you ain't said nothing but a word, Morris. All right. He was preaching that day. Light can be all around. But until you focus that light, focus that energy, you ain't gonna cut through.
Right.
Now, on that note, Dan Spiffy Neuman, on birthday boy, I went longer than I planned to. My wife has been so gracious as to bring this plate down here.
Oh,
I gotta go too.
Yeah, we got to cut, man. I mean,
we're way over. I appreciate though, because
you want to talk later if you're still up. I'm around, man. We can get on.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'll probably I'll see if my wife has
it's your birthday, man.
I was gonna say I better go up and see if there's any birthday gifts waiting for me upstairs.
You got the queen waiting on you now.
Okay.
Body roll.
Get it, Dan. Get it. Don't get it too hard because your heart's still a little weak. But
I know.
Exactly. Be cool now.
In your inhaler.
You know, don't be trying to do no tricks.
Stretch.
Yeah.
Like Prince. Like Prince.
Stretch. Get that leg on.
Right.
So.
All right. Well, Tiffany and Maya, what a unexpected and really fantastic surprise that I got to speak to both of you on the same night, along with Dan Spiffy Neuman. You know, we love and appreciate y'all, and I'm so glad that we got to touch on some serious aspects of this. Okay. The world is crazy right now. So, but hopefully we can have you guys back sometime in the near future, and we can chop it up. I hope y'all ain't sick of us already.
No, not even a little bit.
Oh.
I just want to eat dinner.
Yeah, same here.
I would go for a full Tiffany and Maya episode at some point. I think, I obviously we plan to have them both back individually, but how
would they choose? Maybe we should have them both back individually and together.
Hey. Well, I mean, they both know
whatever you like.
So who was it? And I promise I'm not gonna go into a whole nother tangent that'll keep us here longer. But
whose dad is that? Nia's dad?
Mr. Lewis, we didn't mean nothing by it, sir.
Oh Lord.
He watches every week. He's been a great supporter of the show. But who was it that Johnny Carson had as like a regular guest that like if he needed to fill a spot, he had killers lined up? I'm trying to think of
Rodney Dangerfield or somebody.
Right. I'm trying to think who it was, but that's how I think of Tiffany and Maya as like if we ever have a spot we need to fill, they're murderers in their field, but I know they would come at the drop of a hat.
Yes.
We like y'all run flat spare.
So thank you so much, everybody that celebrated my birthday with me. This is how I wanted to spend it, so I'm very grateful. Thank you, Nikki, for coming by earlier. Thank you, my wife, for coming in. I know she hates being on camera, so that was a huge thing for her.
Why? She's gorgeous.
Camera doesn't hate her.
You see, I tried to get her to come back. She wouldn't come back. See now,
because you had to turn the collard greens off. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what that's gonna take. I don't know what that's gonna take. Maybe her dad would come on with her, and we could have
that would be incredible.
Because I will talk about Black excellence. My in-laws are phenomenal. I talked about my mother-in-law in a previous show, the first Black lawyer at the IRS. My father-in-law had equally lofty government positions. They both were.
The whole Lewis family.
They're all incredible people and fascinating to talk to. I'd love to do, but who knows what it'd take to get them on camera.
Okay.
So, but thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Pastor Victor Davis, for stopping by, Assistant Pastor Thaddeus Hanna, Sonny T. That was such a wonderful thing to see Sonny. I can't wait for the Sonny episode. For those who missed it, Sonny is one of my heroes and a true living legend.
My hero, too.
Tiffany, were you here for Sonny?
He was Prince's hero.
So Prince's childhood bass and guitar teacher stopped in to wish me happy birthday. Rewind the tape. Who was also Terry Lewis's childhood bass teacher, and
also played on Diamonds and Pearls.
Here's the thing about Sonny though. As good as Prince was, and Michael will back me up on this. As good as Prince was, he was always intimidated by Sonny.
Okay.
I think wasn't it Terry that said that it took that long for Prince to get comfortable enough with his success to have his own mentor in his band.
Yep.
Gotta know yourself.
And Sonny's that intimidating too. Like if Prince wasn't out of line for being intimidated by Sonny is that intimidating. Jimmy Jam.
Sonny, I'll tell this story and then we can adjourn. But Sonny, one time Prince asked Sonny, said, "Sonny, my amp don't sound right. I gotta go make a phone call. Can you work on my sound a little bit?" "Oh yeah, man, I got it." And Sonny, basically, told the guitar tech, "Oh no, turn up the highs a little bit. Wait a minute. Now give me a little more in the monitor." Sonny got Prince's sound dialed up. And when Prince walked back in, Sonny was killing Prince's guitar. And for the rest of the week, I always got to rehearsal early and kind of either ate something or hung out like right outside. And I got there like 45 minutes early, and I heard somebody on the sound stage just playing by themselves, playing Prince's rig. And I went in there. I just peeked in the door, and it was Prince. Sonny sounded so good. Prince started shedding before rehearsal. Sonny made Prince want to work harder.
Sonny is really that good.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sonny, he lives up to the hype. And again, he's got the attitude to back it up too. Jimmy Jam told the story that Sonny used to, if Sonny would be playing, he'd see somebody in the audience that looked like they didn't enjoy what he was playing. Sonny would come off the stage and kick their ass and go back up to playing.
And then go back up.
He's that guy. I mean, he
was that guy.
And he's your friend, and he wished you happy birthday. So what does that say about you?
Well, I hope I can consider Sonny Thompson a friend. That's an auspicious friend to have. I really hope that I don't want to, call the relationship more than it is. I know Sonny.
Sonny as a friend is to be a friend to Sonny.
So, yeah, go back and scroll back, rewind the episode to see where he popped in.
For sure.
Thank you, everyone, very much. Thank you, Michael, Tiffany, Maya. This is the best birthday I could have hoped for in 2020. Next week, we got Gabriel. I'll do a promo. We'll talk more about what that's going to be because we got to get some more information. Thank you so much. I'm going to end the broadcast. Thanks for watching.
I love you, Maya. Happy birthday, Dan. Love you, Mike. Love you, Dan.
Love all y'all.
Love you guys so much.
All right.
Excellence.
And Dan.
And Dan.
I said blight excellence.
Blight excellence.